Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everybody. However you happen to be watching and or listening to this, I want to welcome you to the latest episode of the Gaming Circle podcast, the podcast where some of us are tired. What is this? A week away from the show? We had to skip the show last week, and we'll tell you for some reason or for the reasons why. But we're back now, and obviously we have a lot of news and games to discuss. I'm of course your host, Mr. K. Asante, TKO Asante on all the places we communicate, especially these days on discord.gg/TGCP. And I'm joined by my man, my brother, the man who's out here making moves, building systems and killing Gabe machines and stuff. What's going on, Mr. Everborn Saga? Good morning, sir.
The steam machine builder is what they call me.
I'm calling you the Gabe Cube killer. Killing Gabe Cubes left and right.
Listen,
I thought you were an acolyte. What happened? You're killing Gabe Cubes.
No. Hey, listen. Gabe told me that you don't need to buy the Steam machine, and that's why he released Steam OS. That's what they said. They said not everybody needs a Steam machine. And so when I start putting Steam OS on a bunch of devices and then people coming in my mentions, now I got to build new stuff. By the way, just so people know, this is the new build. So people talk about size and everything. And if you get the Steam machine is to play retro, indie, and emulation games, okay. This will do that. But we can talk about that later.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the point where if you've seen this show long enough, that's when I got to go, got your ass. For those who know. But okay, we're going to move on because we got a lot to discuss today. And clearly there's going to be some slander, but we're going to let it ride. Good morning to all the folks in the chat who are watching right now. We see you, Aaron Stilofax. Good morning, sir. What's going on? Zach Riley. Everybody in here, the Black Johns in here. Good morning, everybody. Oh, Soul Tech, everybody pulled up early enough and are watching with us. We appreciate y'all so much. So, as we say, hit the like button if you haven't done so already. Let people know that we're watching. That this thing has started. Let's see here, Everborn Saga. We're gonna get into some some games rather, because let's just be clear. This is gonna be a very Halo heavy show, I suspect. We'll let the news winds take it where it may, but it will be Halo heavy, I suspect. But before we get there, let me first thank all the fine people that are watching. Let me let y'all know that as was the case when we last spoke, is still the case. We are on the hunt. We are doing our best. We are trying to get to PAX West, which is in Seattle. We have like a month and a half left. So every super chat, including the one from the great Mr. Too Opinionated, who just gave us $2 and said, make a GOG device. Oh,
well, if GOG makes an OS, maybe we could have a conversation.
No. You can make a GOG device. What are you talking about?
Can you make a GOG OS? Can you do that?
Well, so these days, the GOG UI, GOG Galaxy is controller first. It's not the greatest controller first implementation, but it is controller
first. That's right? An app.
No. So what you can do, understand. So what you can do is there are these front ends that will take any application you want and let that be your front end. So you can make GOG the front end. So as soon as you boot it up, it goes boom, straight to GOG. That's it. You could do that. GOG device. But anyway, any and all of these donations you provide will go to defraying those costs. So thank you so much. We never want you to give if times are hard. We know it's tough out there. You can also support for free, of course. Hit that like button. Let the algorithm know that we are here and that we are doing what we're doing. Please send that request on and let other people know that we're watching. Right? Thank you so much for being here. And Mr. Too Opinionated, that is a question. That is a device that I'll think about. I might actually think about seeing how we can implement that. Make a GOG device. How about this? It's a GOG device by which when you boot it up, it boots into WinHense, but your GOG library is connected to it. So all of your GOG games are there. You can buy from GOG.
Not the same. It's not the same.
It's the same thing. What are you talking about?
Not the same.
WinHense lets you configure it to be any store you want. You can make it fully GOGified if that's what you're looking for. So you can do that.
You want to do WinHense and not sign into anything but GOG.
Yes, exactly. That's it. That's
Why would you do that to yourself? That's limiting.
Like says the guy who only buys from Steam. Get out of here.
No, hold on a minute, because we'll talk about where I'm playing the campaign evolved in a little bit. Beauty of Winhanced, which show it on you want, it makes every launcher a first-class citizen.
It does. It's true.
So
but this is the reason why.
If you
as are
choose one.
As are you when you don't join the Epic Store. But that's a different conversation. But okay.
I don't want Tim Sweeney cooties. I'm sorry.
Oh man, you'd rather have Gabe Newell cooties. Anyway, as to the donation talk, thanks to the great Hollywood Rules with a $5 super chat. He says, on 2 mile walk before work. Thanks to Kay for the info and help with Winhanced on my ROG Ally X. You see, some people taking it, right? Love it. Good looking out. Love Halo so far. See, there you go. It's a beautiful thing. He hit us up in the DMs asking for some assistance. Was it good enough? Was it ready enough for anybody to just use without any of the tweaking and twerking? We talked about it a little bit, and there you go.
Hey,
so
Hollywood. Next time you're in the Discord, I'd like to hear your experience. I'm always interested in hearing new Winhanced acolytes come over and talk about it, because everybody I know that tries it just swears by it now.
Yeah, it becomes what you do. That's it. That's just what it is. It's the device that just
and there's other UIs out there. I just think at the moment they're probably the best at the moment.
I've actually challenged Boomstick to install it and just see what happens. Like, it is that turnkey. Give it a shot, Boomstick. See how you feel. I hope he does. I actually told him to install it on his Ally X. So we'll see. But anyway, so thank you guys so much. Once again, hit that like button if you haven't done so already. In continuation of the kindness, Isaac Hayes 85. What a name. That's a beautiful name, sir. He becomes a channel member. Thank you so much for becoming a member. We love our members here. They also continue to help us defray these costs. So thank you so much for being a member. Thank you, man. And I see the man. Yes, shout out to the man Eastside Vandal who's in the chat, letting the consoles be represented. He says, everybody go check out the GCP. Oh yeah, the review of Halo CE. We're gonna get to that, good sir. I'm gonna pop that on the screen, and I'm gonna pimp my own wares. But thank you so much for mentioning that. Yes,
two things I want to say.
Go ahead. Yes.
So yes. First, yes, I have a desktop, the 4090 rig, connected to one of the TVs in my main gaming location, the bedroom. And Winhanced is on it, and it's on my Xbox Ally, and I have the same UI, and it is
glorious. Yeah.
And then the other thing is, Aaron, I see your Matrix Reloaded slander. Don't think I don't.
Oh, no,
you're not gonna hide in the comments with these Matrix Reloaded talk. So
we're not doing the Matrix Reloaded slander right now, because then I have to come for you with there, Aaron. This is going to be a problematic day. What are we doing right now? This is not good for you. Not good for anybody.
He did blame the Series S, which makes sense. I think it was the Series S fault for that.
He needs to quell his slander before we start getting into some real debate there. Anyway, if you want to know what the heck we're talking about, ladies and gentlemen, join our Discord. There's a lot of interesting conversations in the Discord, both in gaming and in movies, and in all manner of interesting and sometimes slanderous talk. Discord.gg/TGCP. It's always fun in there, and it's not just typing talk. We always get on the talk, so headphones on and voice chat. Sometimes 30 people deep. It's always really cool and interesting to have conversations with all people from all manners of the world. So join us. It's always fun. Discord.gg/TGCP. Thank you. So, Mr. Everborn Saga, let's get into that game talk before we get into Halo, because Halo is going to dominate the most of the conversation. For me, it's either Halo or it's Control, because I'm getting ready for Resident, so I've been replaying Control. But we could talk about that a little bit as well if need be. But I know you want to continue the discussion about the adventures of Elliot.
Yes. So I know it's the game I've been playing every time you ask me for the last 3-4 weeks. That's what it is. But I am about 45 hours into this game. One moment. Shout out to the great Lucius Augustus who joins us.
This guy. Good morning, sir.
What's happening?
Man? Hope you're doing well.
Good morning.
Good morning, sir. Good morning, sir.
Can we get the other avatar, the good one?
Ooh, the good one. Which is the good one? Well, why is this not the
he
good
knows
one?
which one. He uses this one and another one. But anyway,
okay.
But yeah, so I'm about 45 hours into the game. I've beaten it. I don't want to say I've beaten it twice. It's just that when you go back and do extra quests after beating the boss, you can get a different ending, right? And so I've gotten 3 of the 4 endings so far, and the third one is kind of still okay. Let me put it this way: if you just go and you beat the boss, you're gonna get the worst ending, right? Then if you go and do some quests and get a special weapon and then beat the boss with that weapon, you get a good ending, but it is not the true ending. Then if you get the true ending, the good ending with that special weapon, that's going to unlock other quests you can go on. And when you follow that through line, that is actually when the story gets good. Remember, I told you weeks ago, the story, I'm playing it for the gameplay and not the story. Story's generic. The story actually gets good after you beat the game, believe it or not. So I was probably 30 hours in when I beat the game, and then I found all this other stuff out. So I start doing all these other quests, side quests, end game quests, and it's like that's where the story is. And I don't know why this wasn't the story for the whole game. It feels like they wasted not the game, because the game is fantastic, but the story of the game they wasted until after most people beat the game and move on. And I don't know why they did that, but the story is actually super interesting. So now I've gotten the third thing, which I don't want to spoil for you. But it's like a time travel plot, and just imagine where I'm not spoiling anything. That's the whole game. It's about time travel. But just imagine the interesting ways you could go with that, and you'll imagine, where the thing goes. So now there's some super end game extra boss after the final boss, if you really want to save the world. Right. So how
many bosses must you beat before you actually save the world?
No, it's the same boss you beat 3 times, but it's like how you beat them. Did you just beat them on your own? Did you go get the special weapon that requires a bunch of different quests to get? Or did you do something else when you fought them, which I won't tell you? But it's like, depending on how you beat that boss is going to be what ending you get, which I think is super interesting. And then if you do all that, then there's a final, like a real boss for you to get the true ending.
Okay. All right.
So that's where I am now. And I just love like hanging out in the world and just fighting stuff. The combat's fantastic. The weapons, the upgrades, it's all really, really well done. This is Square's take on The Legend of Zelda, right? Top down. And I think they did a fantastic job. So highly recommend it. It's $60. I think you get it for $50 if you use one of the key sites, but I've gotten my money's worth and more, and I'll probably have 50 hours by the time I'm done with it. So,
and those graphics never get old, man. They're still beautiful. It's fantastic, and exactly the perspective shift. It's very beautiful.
It's the 2D HD, right? Because these are the people who did Octopath Traveler, and this is why I was so surprised about how like bland the story is in the beginning. It's just that it takes a while to get going, because Octopath Traveler has a very interesting story and is very serious. This gets serious as you play into it. It starts out like cookie cutter generic waifu anime, whatever, and then it gets crazy. So yeah, love the combat. I do wonder how the game would have been if they went with the Dragon Quest VII reimagined art style, because that's also super beautiful. I
see what he means by the good one. I see what
what I'm saying. He knew what I was talking about. I didn't even have to tell him. But yeah, I cannot recommend this enough. If you are a fan of the top-down Zelda games, this is it. If you tried Alabaster Dawn and you're waiting for the 1.0 to come out, get this. It's great.
Very cool. Very
So
cool. Adventures of Elliot, ladies and gentlemen.
Adventures of Elliot. I'm done with the game, but I'm still playing it because I'm doing the completionist run, which I never do. But this makes it interesting.
Okay. Very cool. Very cool. Now, I invited the great Pixel Bit G to join us because, you know, the lore master must join us when we speak of Halo. But while he's on his way here, he says he has about an hour. I saw him in the chat. So, Pixel, whenever you're ready, good sir, join us. But while he's on his way here, I know, Lucius, you had a game you wanted to discuss as well. If you can, put the links in the DM, and I'll put that on the screen for us real quick.
Lucius, so I'm so sorry. Just one thing, because Stilo asked in the chat, what's my favorite weapon combo? This is another thing. You can do like loadouts of 2 weapons, right? And you can pair them together. So you have like a spear, you have a hammer, you have a scythe that's on a chain. Obviously, we got the sword, bow and arrow, boomerang, things like that. So my preferred combo it was the spear and the chain scythe, but I've switched to the sword because that's like the level 3 sword is probably the best weapon in the game. But before that, it was the spear and the scythe. Now it's the sword and the scythe. And you got to upgrade them, because if you get the scythe while you're charging it up, if you add a magicite fragment to it, it can like spit out fireballs while you're charging it up. So like you're attacking people while you're charging your super move. So look that up.
Very cool. All right, so Lucius, we have a private chat in here. If you mind adding the links here, I'll display it on the screen. Yeah, I'd appreciate that. And let's talk about Animo, because I know you've been playing the closed beta of that for a minute, right? And if you're
yeah. So I was I initially started was really interested in this when we saw it at the Xbox show this year. It was one of the games that people saw and they're like, what the hell is this, man? Get this out of my face. But for somebody like me, I was just like, oh, this actually looks pretty interesting. Because
just on the screen, there you go.
I've been a fan of Pokemon my entire life. Since the first Pokemon game I played was when I was 7 years old. So like I was of the generation where, you know, they got me right at that age. So,
and this is your footage, right? This is your live.
This is a boss fight for the game. So one of the things that I really like about this game is that, first and foremost, that it is real competition to Pokemon. Power World is way more of a survival game. There's a lot of survival elements inside of Power World. So for somebody like me, I'm not the biggest fan of it. But this game is like if you took Pokemon and Zelda, Breath of the Wild, and honestly, it's like a Genshin Impact. And I say Genshin Impact because it's a free-to-play game. But obviously, as you can see, this game has great combat, great animations. Every Animo animates differently. They have different move sets. They have different everything. So like the way that you fight with them is going to be different, and the different combinations that you're going to use is going to be different. Now, despite this being an action game, it has all the complexities. If you're somebody who actually plays Pokemon competitively, it has all the intricacies of Pokemon, which means like it doesn't have the same names, but if you're a Pokemon person, then you'll know this. EVs, IVs, personality spreads, growth rates, all that stuff that you have inside of Pokemon that determines like how strong each individual Pokemon is going to be. It has all of that. Obviously, it has super moves depending on the Animo. It has all different types of stuff that you can do to be able to like really get into the fights, really have fun, all that other stuff. I've played about 60-70 hours of this for the open, because it had a closed beta. And I initially met with the PR devs at the summer showcase. and it was during like play days. Shout out to all the people who helped us get into play days, because these are a lot of where these opportunities are coming from. So I see the game, the dev like gives me the like I didn't even sign up properly. I just walked by, I saw that it was interesting. The dev gave me an opportunity to sit down and play, and then an opportunity to like get into all the stuff. So what makes this interesting as a game, outside of the more action adventure exploration aspect of it, you also have the ability to like turn into the animal. The benefit of that isn't just like, oh, I get to turn into the animal or I get to turn into the creature. The benefit is that there are a lot of additional features like flying, swimming, climbing. There are a lot of different things that you do inside of the environment, and places that you won't be able to gain access to if you don't use the right animal. Like there are entire boss sections that you cannot get to if you don't properly explore, if you don't turn into an animal that is small enough that it can dig underground and then start, exploring different caves and all that other stuff. The reason why I wanted to show the action more than anything is I wanted to show like how different the different move sets are and the different strategies have to be depending on what animal that you have. And despite the fact that they gave us a good amount of currency or whatever throughout the closed beta experience, I tried not to use most of the currency the entire time. So my personal feelings towards this game is that as long as the monetization is very similar to what I played during the closed beta, then it means that you can play a vast majority of the game without putting in any money at all. And the few times where you do put in money, it's like for things like cosmetics. You can make things like go.
So the drip slaves. If you're a drip slave, you screwed.
Yeah. But a vast majority of the gameplay loop does not require any of that. So if you are a fan of Pokemon, but you want more competition, if you like creature collectors and action adventure games, if you like this sort of combat, and if you aren't the biggest fan of Power World, because I know that Power World is a phenomenon, like people love it, but I was never the biggest fan of Power World simply because I'm just not a survival guy, right? And because the survival elements are such a core mechanic of that game, it just never pulled me in. But the main core mechanic is an action adventure like title where you're running around catching Anemo, doing all that stuff. And as somebody who I like a lot of different types of games, so when I suggest a game like this, it's not because
quick pause for a moment. Quick pause for a moment. Let's give him his just due. Ladies and gentlemen, the great Pixel Bit G. What's going on, brother? Good morning, sir.
What up, though?
Microphone check.
Good morning, gentlemen. I don't mean to interrupt y'all conversation.
Oh, no, please.
No. I'm almost done.
No audio. No.
Oh, we hear you.
No, you good. You got audio.
We hear you. We got you.
Okay.
Excellent. Continue, Lucius.
Yeah, but if the general action, if the idea of like exploring an open world with a bunch of different creatures, catching mechanics, all that other stuff, if that interests you in any capacity, I highly suggest Anemo, because I think that it will be a good game. Outside of the fact that it's a free-to-play experience, outside of anything else, if you are a fan of these types of games, I highly suggest that you check this out.
Lucius.
Do we know all the
Lucius.
platforms it'll be going to, real quick? Like, just to round it out, do we know all the platforms this will be going to?
So this is coming to Xbox Series S and X, PS5, mobile, PC, and it'll be on Steam, as well as being on the Xbox Store as a Play Anywhere title. And because just like Genshin Impact and many of those other games, you can This is going to be cross play and cross progression, so you can go between all different devices to be able to do whatever the hell that you want.
Okay, so I have two questions. One, I noticed you conspicuously left out Nintendo. Will it not be going to the Switch?
So it will not be coming to the Switch at launch, and I think that part of that is because they might not want the smoke from Nintendo, but because Nintendo is just a little too heavy right now.
Well, here that actually brings me to my second question. How long before Nintendo sues them?
I mean,
I don't think. Well, everything that's inside of this game, to me personally, is about most of the things that Nintendo tried to sue, they lost, and that's all the things that are inside of this game.
Is this your character, by the way?
Yeah, my character.
That is very.
I like a blue-black character, sir. Blue-black.
Yeah, man.
Talk about.
I'm real dark, so I have to. I don't want to lie.
The correct answer to my question is it depends on how successful the game is.
Yes,
that will tell us if and when Nintendo will sue.
The game is relatively successful, but it goes to but it's like, okay, like there's thousands of people playing it, it's popular enough, they're able to keep it alive, then I think it'll come to Nintendo Switch too. And I think it'll be a great game on Nintendo Switch too.
I don't think Nintendo will let it on there. They don't like competition.
We'll see.
Not on their own platform.
If it gets as big as Power World, yes, then Nintendo will sue, because then Nintendo will get like, okay, we can't have two of these gargantuan things running around causing trouble, right? And this video is just about the music, so you can go to another video.
Oh, yeah. No, I just enjoy looking at your zesty looking character.
Zesty, yeah, yo.
Look at that man. Look at that man.
These Asian,
is kind of a dramatist with it.
You know these Asian developers. You can't make a super manly character in their game.
I know.
Everybody's like a prepubescent, whatever.
But also, wait a minute. No, but nobody told you to go with the red eyes. Okay, you could blame the developers.
No.
That was you.
There's nothing wrong with the red eyes.
Yeah, the red eyes just remind me of like
when you blue black. When you blue black, your eyes do be red. That's just the reality.
Yeah, but no. This is the problem. No, he didn't go with the whole eyeball. He went with the pupils, like he's wearing red contacts, and that's a little bit Fable Walk to me.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
Yo, that's wild.
And this
is
is
saying don't blame the developers.
This is just a small glimpse of what you can get if you join the Discord.
This is
the accountability podcast.
All right. So yeah, like if you are interested in this at all, I suggest checking it out because it is a good game. It surprised me at how many systems are already inside of this thing for something that hasn't launched yet. The complexity of the systems, obviously, because it's free to play game, there's going to be all these different currencies, and that can kind of, whenever you jump into a game like that, you kind of get bombarded by that stuff. And this is not different. But once you get your feet underneath you, all the systems make sense. Everything is easy enough to be able to get, and really the things where it's going to cost you money is if you want like the super aesthetic stuff. Like there are certain animo that are called prismatics, which are a specific form of an animo. Essentially it looks like the super cool version of it, right? And you can grind for that. And then there's also things that you might be able to pay for to be able to get them easier. But those prismatics don't have any better stats. They just look better.
Okay.
So,
all right.
Like at the end of the day,
they're getting the drip kings. Those who have to have the drip.
If you like drip, if you like looking good, that's where they're gonna get you. But the main gameplay, the mechanics, all the different things that you're doing throughout the game, all of that is essentially free. You don't have to engage with most of those systems at all to be able to just enjoy the game for what it is. And
Very
the
cool.
reason why I use Zelda Breath of the Wild is the level of exploration. The reason why I played this game for 60 hours is because despite the fact that they're not done with all the maps and all that stuff, there is so many things to do. So many things to do. And
Very cool.
like typically with a free-to-play game, they have like free systems, right? Where it's just like, oh, you can fight these mini bosses this many times. But the amount of times that they let you fight those mini bosses is actually pretty extensive. They let you do a lot. And not only do they let you do a lot, because there's so much to do, once you're done getting all the mini bosses for that day, you could literally go do something else. There's like a farming part of the game. There's obviously the catching mechanic, which you can constantly catch. Getting the essentially Pokeball equivalents are not very difficult at all. And the amount of money.
Let me ask.
Yeah.
Let me ask a final question, because of all the like what you're describing here, right? It seems they have had the opportunity to really put a lot into this.
Yes.
Before anyone even noticed it was around. Is this like a known developer with like
no
pockets or something? How is this being funded so expertly without any kind of money?
Well, one is being developed.
Who's publishing this?
Well, one is being developed in Asia, which makes it significantly cheaper, right?
Okay.
Two, what I know about the owner and developer is that the owner is like a huge Pokemon fan, but like was pissed that Pokemon never really evolved or anything, and so he put his money where his mouth is and back this up.
Yes, sir.
So, but this is the type of game that they want to make. It's very good. There's a couple issues here and there, but they already have a very dedicated community because this is the third closed beta, and
oh wow, okay.
Apparently there's been significant changes from the first and then second and then third beta, and so they've received a crap ton of feedback from people who really care and really want this thing to succeed. So because of because of I think their dedication to this experience, and they already have a group of people who want this game to succeed, but also are very harsh. Like I've been inside of their Discord, and there's been a couple things here or there that aren't perfect, and people have like dogged them for it, and they're taking all this very seriously. So like I said, we're gonna give it a chance, but when it launches, you know that I will be there and I'll be doing a review for GCP to let you know if this is a game that you should even waste your time on, right? Because I understand a lot of people here don't really like free-to-play games that much. You don't really like that model, and I completely understand. But this seems to be one of the good ones. In the same way that Genshin Impact has its issues.
Are you saying it's well-spoken?
Oh God.
Wow. Why are we doing that?
It's not like the rest.
Going there this morning.
By the way, Paris, this is for you.
Oh man, your camera's a little body, so we see Sonic Schmear. There we go. Okay, I see you. Okay,
this is just for Paris.
Yeah, Paris threw some chum in the water real quick.
I saw it. You thought he was slick.
Early, gotta do it. What's up, Paris? If that's what you got to do, like
what's going on?
You got to announce,
Yeah. So no, thank you, Lucius, for the good report on
what is the
Animo.
name of that game that he's
Animo.
Animo.
ANIIMO.
Yeah.
It's
definitely my son's on that game, sir. If it's preteen.
Yeah, it seems to be within that line.
It seems it's within that line. There's nothing crazy about it, and like it's going to be an online community, so you know how online communities go.
Yeah.
But outside of that, this game is very good. Like I would never push somebody. I'm just not the type of person to play free to play games. But the fact that I'm so enamored by the general things that you can do inside of the game, it's good. It's really good, and just like any good creature collector, there's different creatures for everybody. Like there's creatures that are going to be really, really cool like and some are going to be more on the cute side, some are going to be more on the whatever. Like there's going to be a creature for you depending on what your style is generally. So
thank you so much. Let me catch up on a couple of super chats, and then we're gonna move on to Halo talk real quick because I know my man Pixel is on the clock.
Yes, sir.
Real quick,
30 minutes.
BT Maverick 707 with a $10 super chat, continuing the hashtag road to PAX. Now let's put those glizzy suits on. Absolutely not, sir. What are you talking about? No.
Wrong chat. Wrong chat.
We appreciate the donation, though. We do. And on that note, we are absolutely on the way to PAX West. That is what we're going to be doing. So any of these donations, once again, we really appreciate because it will go to defraying those costs. Mr. Two Opinionated, also with a $2. He said, boom, Pixel's in the room. Appreciate you, good sir. And shout out to Great Pixel Big G for joining us. He continues his donations with another $2, saying Nintendo should compete and release Pokemon third party. Oh yeah, you go tell them that. Good luck with that one. And then the Great Hollywood Rules with a $2 super chat. He says, shout out to the cuz Pixel Bit G. Genesis is better than TurboGrafx.
To which I said 40 years later, and you are still wrong, sir.
Oh,
you are still wrong. You was wrong on the block, and you wrong now. That's what it is.
Listen. Hollywood rules. Hollywood got good taste. I don't know what you talking about.
Get this one out, son. You wasn't alive when this conversation was happening. Let me and my guy have this conversation, sir.
He just gray bearded.
Let me call Big Tony in this chat.
This is Brooklyn talk. Okay.
All right. That was straight up. That was he just told you to sit down there, young blood.
Sir. I'm just saying we was having this conversation a long time.
Oh man, that was slanderous.
All I'm saying is the man Hollywood got good taste, choosing Genesis over TurboGrafx. You had like 4 games on TurboGrafx.
You lying to yourself. You lying to yourself.
You had Bonk's Adventure. That's what you had.
Nothing on your system that's better than.
We are going to move swiftly along. Because
you know what? This is a Discord. This is a Discord conversation. I got you. I got your number.
Welcome to the Discord, ladies and gentlemen.
Anytime you're ready.
Hey, listen. I know we're gonna talk about this later, but I don't want to miss this because he's making a point. Paris says, in my opinion, stop treating rumors as fact. You have no idea the current state of Halo Studios, and we will talk about that shortly.
Paris, when do these ever need an idea to have a comment? They don't never need no ideas, bro.
Also, you got to listen to who the rumors are coming from. What is their motivation?
We're gonna get there. We're gonna get there.
Yes, sir. We're gonna get there. Absolutely. So before we get there, of course, Pixel's time. We're taking a little bit of your time today because we want to talk about that Halo. We know for sure that you've had a chance to at least dabble, if I'm not mistaken.
I've had a chance to dabble. I may return later. I got an eye appointment, but yeah, let's talk some Halo real quick.
Let's talk some Halo, and this is where I will totally like shill my own wares, ladies and gentlemen. I put a video out. It is called the Gaming Circle Review Halo Campaign Evolved, and with that, the great Slow Mo Backslap joins us. Because we are about to have ourselves a conversation, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Slow Mo Backslap.
What's up, Slow Mo?
He's in the house. What's going on, Slow Mo? But yes, let's get into this conversation. People, if you have not watched my review, I put ungodly amounts of time into this review. Salute to all those people who do this for a living or like on a weekly, daily basis. You guys are crazy. I don't know how the hell you do it. It took me 5 days of blood, sweat, and tears to do this thing. Thank y'all so much. Who those of you who have watched it, it's a little light on the views. So why don't y'all go watch that review and tell me if you disagree with any of my picks.
Hype the video. Watch it. Hit the hype button. I'll throw it in the algorithm.
But it was a well done review. It was a well done review. Okay.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
All right,
I was just trying to see if I could do it.
Blinded by
Pixel. Yeah, since he got to go, let
you are first,
man
sir.
rock.
How much time have you had with this game so far? You know, give us your take on all of it.
From about midnight to 3 a.m. this morning. I've only played one stage, right? The the first bonus mission.
Okay.
But I'm playing it on legendary, so let's keep it a butt. It's the only way to play it. So there's like 3 things that come to mind immediately when you turn it on. Especially I played it on PC a little bit, then on Xbox. It's visually noisy, right? It's nice looking, but it's noisy, right? And I think that may be FSR being what FSR is, which is trash.
No, it's not just FSR. It's DLSS as well. So
it's got on DLSS as well. Okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
So that's the first thing I noticed.
Well, since Umbra's in the chat, it could just be Unreal, but y'all keep
Unreal. So that's there's more strikes before I get to the good stuff. So the second thing I noticed is the aim tuning is freaking awful. Like when you turn the game on, it's just not right. It's the sensitivity is
by
wrong.
default. It's not.
It's
default. You have to tweak the settings a little bit.
Like you got it. So anybody, if you haven't played it yet, or you're playing it and you're wondering why you're feeling like laggy, 6. Put everything at least 6, right? So you can be a little snappier. It makes all the difference. Because I was getting murked immediately, and I'm like, why am I so slow? Right? First, second thing, third thing. Halo Infinite was a hard as fuck game on Legendary. This shit is harder. So far, this game is harder, and I respect it. So,
they have tweaked the difficulties a little bit.
But Pixel,
harder.
You haven't and I'm like you. I haven't done more than the first bonus mission because I just haven't had time. I went fishing all day yesterday, so that was took up my time. But I agree with you, at least on the bonus mission side of things, which is new. So we didn't have that before. That legendary, because I beat the first mission on legendary as well. That is harder than the regular combat involved on legendary. But I haven't played this version of combat evolved, the actual main campaign, so I can't say for certain.
Yeah, but like looking at it on so for context, when I played Infinite on legendary. My first death didn't occur inside.
Oh, my bad. You said Infinite. My bad. I misheard. Go ahead. You good.
It's definitely harder than the original one so far. But the original Halo CE, a lot of what made it difficult is that you ran out of ammo a lot, right? Because these dudes were so spongy, you just would run out of weapons.
Right.
But legitimately, in terms of how fast it is to death, yo. A grunt killed me right off the gate, and I'm like,
Pixel, I gotta ask you a question. I gotta ask you a question about this. Now, when you say that you think that it's more difficult, something that I found is that I was so used to because I've been playing Infinite once a year since it came out.
And mobility is missed, yes,
right. But the thing about that is when you have the mobility and verticality of Infinite, you actually take more chances because you can get out of the way faster.
Sure.
And me playing like that put me in a lot of spots that I wouldn't have been in Infinite. So I wonder if it's like the muscle memory of I can take that last 3 shots because I can just zip out of here with the, you know what I'm saying? So is it actually harder, or do you just have less? You have less tools.
It's just harder, right? He takes a lot less damage, just like 2 hits to death on legendary. Like 2 hits. And if you run into an elite, it's 1 hit. Like
or you get sniped.
You get sniped, or they grenade you. Like your shields don't last. It's over. Right? That's the first thing. Secondly, it's slower. Even when you're running, it's slower, right? And I think that may be part of it because by the end, like I think I'm at the end of the mission. Where it's like an open arena battle, which is fucking hard as hell.
Oh, with the
elites,
the hunters,
and
the 2 hunters come out.
No, I beat them already.
Okay.
There's a big open space, like an hour into the mission through the ship, and then they start flooding through the gates, and there's like a bunch of weapons in the area. So it's like a big open arena. It's kind of like Infinite's last stage when you fight that girl. The endless, when you fight the endless, and there's that
it actually looks a lot like that.
It looks a lot like that.
It does, it does.
A lot like that level design.
But that area is hard. I mean, I've played a couple of times, but what I noticed is as I'm playing it, I'm kind of getting the rhythm, right? So you get better, but just note when you turn it on, if you're playing on legendary, expect to die off it, and that's good. That's good. to me,
Pixel, one more question.
Be like that. Go ahead, man.
One more question. I don't know how you normally start with Halo, but usually every time I've played heroic or legendary, I do that after a normal playthrough so that I know where everything is. That way, when I got the more difficult enemies, I know where they're coming from and when, and that allows me to be more tactical. You always start at legendary.
I always play legendary, yeah, because I want to extend the length of the game, and I want to experience it like as hard as it can be, pretty much. To me, that's more fun for the first run. After that, then I worry about like I'm playing more for fun. But this case, I want to see how good the AI is. I want to see how hard the combat is and how smart they are in these battle scenarios. So
would you say that they gave the infinite AI to the enemies here? Do you think that carried over?
Yeah, I think it has. So you can see like the behaviors are different.
Smarter
because they'll jump down on your head like the older Halo games, that they're above, unless you knock them down, they wouldn't like force their way down. Here, like I've been jumped on from the back. Like what the hell?
Oh,
like,
hey yo.
They'll hey, watch it. Shut up, slow mo.
Oh man,
here, man. I'm just here.
Oh, God.
Not like
welcome to the Discord, ladies and gentlemen.
Welcome to the Discord.
All right. Keep going.
They stretch better. Like the grenade game is ugly. You like some of these characters, the grenade game is ugly. The grunts, you still expect them to be kind of soft, but they overwhelm you with numbers, right? And they're hitting you on shots now. They're not missing a lot of shots. So you got to.
I really need to see. I need your take after you get to the flood, because the way they ramp up the difficulty.
Even want to think about the flood right now. If I'm struggling,
wild, man.
Now I'm just
even like, the little because
the library
noticed
on legendary.
Yes, spores, well, on legendary on the original, the spores pop your armor, right? Like
but the spores now are even more dangerous than the big. Like they are the swarms. Like it's crazy. It's wild. Like scary.
Did they bring the Halo 2 body regeneration into this one?
Yes,
it does have body regeneration.
Sorry. I thought you was talking about the armor. My bad. You talking about the flood?
No,
I'm not that far yet.
I don't know if I don't think Halo CE that the flood could revive enemies, right? But in Halo 2,
you can.
Yeah, Halo 2, they can revive enemies, right? You had to if you don't destroy the body.
So the spores can go in them and you see them come back to life. Yes, they've done that. Yeah.
I can't wait to get there. But so all that to say, right? Harder game so far. Music, sound effects, really nice. Like that sound, it feels very much like Halo. Once you get your tuning for your controls right. At first, really nasty, the tuning, but so far, so good. I'm enjoying it. So the prequel missions are actually very well done. They do feel, the first mission feels similar to like other missions that you've played in Halo, right? You can see where their minds were going with this, but it's well laid out. It's well laid out, and they're worthy additions to the sandbox. So far so good. Yep.
How about you, there, Slow-Mo Black Slap, sir? What do you think? Have you been? What are your experiences? You've only dabbled as well, right?
Yeah. I've done basically about as much as Pixel has, and I echo a lot of his sentiments. It is a bit more difficult on Legendary, and I kind of initially was wondering if it's just me being a bit rusty with Halo in particular, because like you guys know I play a lot of shooters, but one shooter doesn't play like another, and a lot of shooters don't play like Halo. So there's a bit of muscle memory you have to kind of regain in how Halo plays in order to kind of really dominate. And I typically what I'll do is I'll either play on heroic. I never go below heroic, or legendary. Depending on how I start out. And I started out with legendary, and yeah, man, I was like, am I washed? Is it me? Like, I'm like, what is happening? But I mean, it's something that you just gotta get used to with legendary, of dying a lot until you kind of figure the pattern, figure out the AI, and then you gotta be more patient, because with myself, I've been playing other shooters. You don't need to be as patient as you need to be in the Halo campaign. That's it. I echo a lot of sentiments Pixel had with the controls. I definitely had to do a lot of adjustments with the sensitivity with my dead zones because they had the dead zones at like 12, which is like, what the heck? Like are you just automatically thinking people got stick drift in their controllers? Is that what this is? So like I had to lower a lot of those things and up the sensitivity. I actually have my horizontal and vertical at 7.5, which I found to be like I was slowly inching it up. I think it started at like 4 or 5, and I was like
I said 4.
Yeah, I was like, what are you doing? Like, are you? I don't get it.
Fast enough to address enemies in your area.
No,
like,
not at all. So
like you can't be like, no.
Yeah, so as I started playing more, I got it up to, I'm at 7.5 now, which is pretty comfortable for me. That said, I think Halo Infinite's gunplay is better, although I do like what they've done with like new weapons, like someone mentioned in the chat, it's the needler rifle. I like that. I like the needler rifle. I like
it's a new weapon to this game, but not a new weapon, right?
Right. Yeah.
Just a note. The other nice feature is, at least in this stage, those new weapons in the sandbox. Beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
So, some things I had noticed, and I thought it may be a controller issue, but you guys know I'm a controller freak, so I got like a gazillion controllers. So I started switching out controllers to test it out, and then I didn't notice something. So something that I love with Halo Infinite. Okay, calm down. So something that I love with Halo Infinite is the fast swap to your secondary and fire is perfect. It is like to go from, say, your battle rifle or your assault rifle and switch to your pistol, especially in PvP, and be able to fire off immediately. I love it. What I noticed in this game, though, and this is early times, but when I first noticed it,
issue. Go ahead and say, because there's another issue that goes with it. Go ahead.
Yeah, I think it is unreal because I would run out of ammo, and for those who not really big on shooters, the typical way to deal with in a firefight if you run out of ammo is to not to reload right there. Switch to your secondary weapon so you can keep firing. You worry about reloading when you are in a safe place or the firefight's over. So I've switched to my secondary and I'm pressing the trigger, but nothing's happening. And then it fires off, and I'm like, what is this delay? So at first I thought, okay, you know what? I got the trigger stoppers on, so I got micro trigger on. Maybe there's a sensitivity issue, so I turned that off. So it's just full press of the trigger. It still didn't change. So I said, all right, let me switch from this controller that I'm using to a different controller. Same thing. So I'm like, all right, so this is just an issue with the game that they're going to need to get that sorted out. They need to patch that. It's not a major issue, but it is something that, like,
on legendary, it creates a real problem.
If you play on legendary, that could be the difference between you and starting over at a checkpoint and you actually making it out.
Are far behind. Some of them checkpoints are like a couple of fights back, which is not fun.
Yeah,
but the other problem, just to
go ahead.
You can't like fire cancel into grenade anymore. Like all the other Halo games, like you could start shooting and then switch to grenade and throw a grenade. It seems like you can't. Like it fires and then you have to stop firing before you can throw a grenade. It's weird.
I think that's also another one of these kind of delay issues with gunplay. So like the gunplay's good, but it's not Halo Infinite good, and that they need to fine tune that. If that hasn't been said to them yet so far, I would definitely want to make sure Halo Studios is aware of that so they can get that in the pipeline of fixing that. But outside of that, visually, and I'm sure. Briz in the chat is going to smile at this. It's a pretty game. It's a pretty game.
Pretty noisy. But I think personally, and be mad. Halo 4 looks better, and
Wait, do you think?
But wait a minute. Hold on.
Direction wise,
yeah, I think so. Yeah.
So you mean on the art direction? Okay, I get that.
Yeah,
on
the art style. The art style for Halo 4 to me is better. And personally, I prefer the cleaner look of Infinite over this, right? Because the being clean makes it easier for me to identify enemies in the field. Right.
So,
and some of the noise is there's a film grain over this that I can't turn off. I fucking, excuse my French, hate film grain. I hate it. I don't like film grain, and I just want to turn it off. Right. And there's no option to turn it off. So I get there looking for the
that was the thing.
But yeah,
that was the thing that I dinged it in the reviews a little bit. There's no like advanced like features. You can't be very descriptive with what you want for settings as far as film grain and agrammatic filters and all of that stuff, right? You can't remove any of that.
So just real quick, to that end, I think this, like, to my eyes, like, it is more visually pleasing in the outside environments than Infinite, but the interiors, I preferred Infinites the way that I know you talked about the metals in your review, but like when you're inside those Forerunner structures and all of this stuff in Infinite, and the way the lights work and they bounce off of things, to me that works more. And even in this scene here, I don't know what's going. Maybe it's my eyes. But like whenever I was fighting an elite, I'm really just looking for movements, even if they don't have on the cloaks. I feel like the enemies were blending in too much. It was just too much purple.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
It blends in. It's because it's noisy. Like you don't see the character. And I guess like for the areas where you have enemies that are invisible. Oh my god. Yeah, it helps, right? Yeah. It helps them blend into the environment. But like look at this Elite, right? I don't want to see. They should pop out of the environment just a little bit so I can identify them quicker. But that's the only thing that I noted. Right.
Yeah,
the rest of
it sorry, to talk about the noise issue. When I was mentioning the noise issue and how you're describing it, Pixel, is correct. But what I was seeing was
this visual, that's graphical noise too.
Yeah. So like whenever there's a massive explosion.
Yeah,
the entire screen, and I don't know if this is happening on console or not because I haven't played it on console yet, but the entire screen has a ton of noise in it. And for people who don't understand what noise is,
jiggles. Yeah.
For noise is when the image it's like the engine is struggling,
it's trying to reconstruct the visual. Yeah, right. And you see it like on the ground textures and stuff. You see noise. Yeah,
right. And so it can't figure out exactly how the image is supposed to look. So it's like switching back and forth between different pixels that are on screen. And so a lot of times when you see this, we see it with ray tracing, they have ray reconstruction, which is what NVIDIA created to fix this. And it's called, and what they use is what they call denoisers. Denoisers fix that so you don't have those issues. The problem here, and it's something that I sent you guys in the Discord, is that a YouTuber called Benchmark King, who does like benchmarks for all the new games that come out. He did some testing and found out that Halo Studios is using hardware-based lumen for the lighting with Unreal Engine 5.
Okay.
And you can't turn it off. Within the game, the only way to turn it off is, and for those who don't know, hardware-based lumen is using ray-traced global illumination. So the only way to turn that off is to actually turn it off for ray tracing off for your GPU completely. And he said the difference is like dramatic, like it looks terrible with it off. But that's because you're not getting any of the lighting whatsoever.
100% designed for ray tracing now.
Right. Now,
you can tell that. Like you can tell. Like they put
and that's why it also runs a little difficult on handhelds because that is very difficult.
The other game that had the same issue was Crimson Desert when it came out initially. Had the same visual light noise issues around its graphics. So hopefully they can fix it, but you do see it. Like, it's clear.
Let me land the plane real quick. I do not think they have ray reconstruction enabled with this game. And because they don't have that enabled, that's why when you see explosions with ray trace global illumination, there's a ton of noise on the screen because they're not actually using what the tools that are available through NVIDIA in order to clean all that stuff up. And you have it like no issue. I mean, no issue, but there's no choice to turn the ray tracing off because you have not enabled that within the settings of the game. So that's why that's kind of like it's so noisy because you have ray tracing on by default, but you don't have the actual tools enabled to make sure ray tracing looks better.
Yeah.
So for those who are
a universal denoiser that's good enough, because NVIDIA keep constantly putting things behind its software stack. Some developers aren't going to be able, because especially if you make it for everything, incorporating NVIDIA's fix only fixes NVIDIA's cards. It doesn't fix the consoles. It doesn't fix AMD cards as well that are having the same issue. So like I'm not using that.
Unreal has its own
denoiser.
Right?
Denoiser, yes.
So they're not using Unreals, right? Like or not using it properly, right? So they're
not using one of them properly.
Yeah. There's something turned off here that they need to fix.
So for those, I know we got in the weeds a little bit, but for the audience that's not following along, Unreal is the problem. Tell Umbra I said it. But
clip that.
Yes. Go ahead.
I want to finish up. I'm gonna finish up, and you can go. So overall, I'm enjoying the experience. I love this campaign. This is one of my top 3 campaigns for Halo. So even though I haven't got to the main one yet, the bonus missions, I wanted to do those first because like I've played through the main one a gazillion times. But so far I'm enjoying it. I know we're gonna probably touch on it a little bit. I am still somewhat disappointed there is no multiplayer aspect for us to get into, but you know, I'm a big multiplayer guy, and I feel like a lot of Halo people are big multiplayer guys, so it does make sense that people are upset about that. That's it. For what it is, for what they've done with the campaign, it's good so far. I'm enjoying it.
Yeah. To that point, and I know we had a lot of discussions about this in the Discord. I just also want to add the note that while this is a remake and the multiplayer should be expected, not live service, but at least something PvP akin to what you got in the original Combat Evolved, I am actually in favor of them putting single player and multiplayer Halo on 2 separate tracks. Now they should have had an announcement to say when the next multiplayer thing is coming, so that like people like you that are into it know at least, all right, this doesn't have it, but there's something in the works. And right now we don't have that. So I understand the consternation, but I do think that the 2 tracks have been holding each other back, among other issues with Halo, right? Like, because you know, Halo 4, great campaign, and then they try to do this Call of Duty stuff, and people didn't like it. Right? Halo 5 campaign has a problem, but the multiplayer is really good. Infinite.
No. Halo 5 was the
5
was a good.
Five had probably the worst campaign.
Yeah,
that's what
they
had.
Something immortal. But
they did a big turnaround with the multiplayer. I think at this point, I agree with you about that, Everborn. I do think it's time to make them separate. But the thing is, you got to actually provide both. And so when you haven't provided both, and like you said, they haven't even made an announcement of what they're doing on the multiplayer side. Yeah, like people can speculate. And then there's all the rumors on the back end of what they've been trying to do, but nothing's official because you haven't said anything. So that's just really going to hit the Halo Studios for not delivering on that front. And
Everborn, would you mind just like getting to the top and providing us your thoughts? I know the other gentlemen have provided their top level. We haven't heard what you think of this game since you've gotten into it. How far are you into it? Like, you know,
I'm about and sorry, slow mo, but I'm about 5 hours in, And I got to be honest, when I first started it, like I texted you, I went in the Discord, and I was actually complaining about it because I am an unapologetic Halo Infinite gameplay stan, right? Moment to moment of Halo Infinite to me is like the perfection of what Halo can be. I'm not talking about the story. I'm not talking about them.
No, you spot on. I don't think we can debate it.
Right. So to me, I'm playing the game feeling like I'm missing something, and I don't want to feel like that when I'm playing the first new Halo game in 5 years. Right? I'm like,
answer Aaron's question, man. Answer Aaron's question.
Aaron is messy.
Is Everborn playing on PS5? Listen, Aaron,
you
better get out of here with these reloading
on
questions.
media mode. I was asking if he's going to play on me. If he's playing on
nah, we
mode.
can't. I'm playing on normal, which is basically with
media
I'm
mode.
playing on
that is
that is media mode.
Media mode
normal is
easy.
journalism mode, man. Nothing below heroic, sir. I don't know.
Well, a lot of people in the media playing on easy. That's all I'm saying.
Hey,
but
that's what we expect from them.
Right. But my point is, so I like in the first couple of hours, like I do the first 2 missions, and I'm like, you know, I like Halo being more open zone and not these corridors just from Infinite. I'm playing it like resenting it and not accepting what it was. But it's not until I get to like the 3rd mission, which I do think has a good story beat. The 3rd bonus mission I'm talking about, and then now I did Pillar of Autumn, and now like you know, we're on the ring, and it's clicking for me now. It's a vibe, it's a rhythm, and I'm in that rhythm now, and like I see what they're trying to do, and you know, I said, you know, listen, I understand this is a remake, but you did do level redesigns. You did a lot of new stuff. You could have gave us the Infinite gameplay. I wouldn't have complained, right? Like forget about like, okay, the grappling hook wasn't developed yet. So what? Put it in there, modernize the game.
You don't need the grappling hook. The jetpacks are available in this time, right?
Or like Sprint makes the choice, and then you know, if someone wants
but,
that, they got it.
But so that's Everborn, the thing. They added
here's my agreement with you.
Right?
Here's the agreement with you. They even added flying abilities with skulls. Why can't you add grapple shot with the skull?
Well, and here's the thing. I understand Lucius's point that the levels are not designed around it, but you redesigned levels in the game. Later on, Kay, you'll talk about it when you get to the library or wherever it is, or wherever the flood come out. In the original, you start from the bottom and you go up, and all the floors look the same. They completely redesigned that level in this.
Thank God you could. Every time I played Combat Evolved, I would get constantly lost.
Right, but the point is, if they can do that, they can design around those new mechanics. And I just don't want.
Well, I understand you. It is easier, and you understand this, right? It's easier to do a redesign, like remap a stage in the same scale than it is to expand a game to support the grapple hook scale, right? The grapple hook works because of the scale of the world. It's not the spaces that you're in support much greater heights, right? There's longer ranges where you can shoot from. It's harder. Even the smaller rooms that you're in fighting those enemies are probably like the size of the room on this map right now. So there's no ship. Is there any ship like type ships?
No, not
right.
In
There's
Infinite,
no type ships on
even
Infinite.
the smallest, tightest space in Infinite, you're not fighting in. Typically, that's just like a corridor that you're just going from one location, one big location to another big location. Like you don't have the claustrophobia of the first game.
But again, for me, since Infinite came out, I've probably played it once a year. Right. So it's very fresh in my mind. And I understand this is a me problem. It's not a problem of the game.
No, it's not a you problem. It's a they should know, because the next Halo needs to be like Infinite.
But what if the next Halo is a Halo 2 remake and then a Halo 3 remake, and we got to wait a decade before we get back to Infinite?
Well,
right?
That's probably what's going to happen.
But this is a problem to me, because I don't want them to say, well, Infinite didn't work out, so we're going to throw out the whole baby with the bathwater.
I think that Halo 2
there were parts of
stages,
really
stage-wise, might be wide enough to support the grapple shot. right? Those are more outdoor spaces, right?
But it's also I don't even want to dumb my argument down to just the grapple shot. That's a huge part of it, like picking up a energy core and then throwing it at somebody, getting out of the way, whatever. But you can't even clamber in this, right? And these are things that like and this again, to me, this is just me giving Infinite its gameplay flowers than it is coming at this, because now that I'm 5 hours into this, like I feel it and I'm getting the nostalgia vibes, and you know what I'm saying? So I really do like it. I'm just raising the warning flag.
Look, you mess with Infinite. The slowness of this game, just in general, of the sandbox compared to Infinite. It feels
it's hard to go
slower.
It's
hard
listen,
to go back. It's hard.
It's like going black. You know what I'm saying? You can't you can't go back after that. So this is the thing, but
Discord, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, but again, I spent 2.5 hours resenting the game, and now I'm starting to appreciate it for what it is.
But if anybody has ever heard Everborn talk about a game the moment that he starts playing it, we know that this is power for the course. This man hates on a game almost immediately.
But that's not hate. That is not
to make him love it.
That's something we've heard, right?
Yeah, but sometimes he don't end up loving the game like Hogwarts Legacy. He just hates on it for an hour and then
it continues forever.
That's because that's a terrible franchise, and we don't do wands. We do
that franchise. What are you talking about? Just one
All right, go ahead.
Anyway, but do you see what we're talking about, ladies and gentlemen? Like
real wizards use staffs. I don't know what to tell you.
I mean, he's not wrong about that part, but I wish I had more time. I gotta skate. I might see if I can come back a little later, but I gotta skate. I'm gonna listen on chat, gentlemen. But yeah, thank you for being here, brother. A couple of bars, gentlemen.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely.
We
cannot talk Halo without the lore master. Thank you for being here, sir.
Appreciate that, sir.
We'll talk to you soon. Yes.
All right, guys. Cheers.
Later.
Silent Cypher has an amazing super chat. He's not wrong, but that doesn't change the gameplay.
Let's get the super chats on. Oh, hold on here. Second. There you go. And let's get the super chats on before we get back to our Halo conversation. I'll start from the end to the beginning because Silent. I want to read Silence first. The great Silent Cypher with a $10 super chat, and once again, please, thank you so much for all of the super chats. All of these super chats help to defray the cost to heading to these locations so we can do some more great coverage for you all. So thank you for your continued support. He says, Everborn, I play Infinite once a year as well, except it goes load up the game, roam around the empty world, fight a few enemies, load up a different game once a year.
Yeah, because there's nothing to do after you got all the high value targets, you rescued all the soldiers, you beat it's nothing to do. I just go and try to
starting over.
Yes, I start over. I start over. I still haven't beaten it on Legendary, by the way, because I always get frustrated trying to do Legendary and then end up giving up. So I haven't.
You should do a co-op run.
Are you at least doing heroic?
Yeah, but I want to beat it on Legendary, and I make progress every year. So maybe by 2028 I will have beaten it on Legendary. But back to my what I'm saying about the game.
Let me finish the super chats real quick since we started them. Emmanuel A1 with a $5 super chat. He says the grapple hook is 100% needed. The best thing that happened to Halo so far. I think we can all agree to that. This is why, even though we all agreed that Halo 1 would be broken with that in there, doesn't matter. Put it in there. It would.
Make it a skull.
Put it in there exactly. Put it. Make it as if you can make people fly and break the world, then you could just make it a skull, and people can use that if they so choose.
But if we acknowledge that the grappling hook is not a good situation for this experience, if you just drop it in, why give people what we know will be a bad experience? Because this game is way more.
It's exactly the same thing as letting them fly throughout the world. It breaks everything. But they give it to you anyway.
But will the Everborn sagas of the world that want it, will they just go into complaint mode and be like, well, they should have made the environment work for this?
No, I'm not. Here's the thing. I'm not asking them to just wholesale put it there. Like they brought over the AI from Infinite. You can feel that in the way the enemies react.
You can clean it up and make it work.
They added a lot of stuff. I'm actually saying it from the rip. I'm not going to move the goalpost. They should design around it. Do a Resident Evil or Final Fantasy style remake and design a whole new game. Listen, this is the first project. I will allow it. But what we're not going to do is let them remake the whole trilogy and then we just forget about what happened in Infinite and that gameplay. That's going to be a problem. So
this is too opinionated as the $2 super chat and says we're holding them to a higher standard. If you know, you know. I think I agree with him on that one.
No, I'm holding them to their own standard. Like have as good gameplay as you gave us in Infinite. I don't know what to tell people. That's not a higher standard. That's their standard.
What I would say is the issues with gunplay is where I'm like, you fall below the bar when it comes to Halo Infinite, and that's not holding them to a higher standard. That's holding them to the standard they already established with the best gunplay they've had since they've taken over Halo. So like not being able to shoot your gun immediately after hot swapping to your secondary. Come on now, this is a shooter. Like that should be, you know, and it's not all the time. It's like it's inconsistent. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. And you're like firing and it's not shooting. Stuff like that shouldn't happen. Now that's basically them failing to do what they are intended to do with the game. What Everborn is saying is that he wants to incorporate things that aren't a part of the original gameplay, which they've already done with like sprint. Couldn't sprint before. Now you can sprint in the game. There's the option to turn that off if you want the original experience.
It's a lot of weapons that wasn't in the original too.
And people complained about how sprinting changes the dynamic of the game because the game was designed around the fact you couldn't sprint and blah 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 blah.
Yeah, it changes stuff.
Yeah,
go ahead. First and 15-2 with $2 says 3P Halo feels like every other game. # no hype.
Oh, third person.
Unless he means third party.
Oh no, or third party. Yeah, 3P.
It shouldn't go to PlayStation. That's what he's talking about. And I approve this message.
He said I approve this message.
I mean, unless he's already played through the game, he's already got the skull to do third person. Like, I mean,
I thought that the third person skull was pretty early on. It's like below.
Not pretty early on. It's literally right when they give you control of the well, not right when they give you control. Right when you meet keys.
It's like right underneath the pilot.
Really? Oh, yeah, wow.
So it's like right underneath where like the
From
pilot.
From there on, you can go find the skull. If you don't find it, you've moved on. But if you do, or if you're still in where keys is, you can go right in between the two pilots underneath, go drop down, and there's the skull. But see, not that as soon as you grab it, now it's third person. As soon as you grab it, now you have the option to do it. So now you have to get out of the game, turn third person on, and get back into the game. It's not an easy toggle. Right, you either play with third person on the whole session, or you log out and turn third person off. Right, that's the way it works. But the Infinite Umbra, super chat, he says, when you first saw Halo in Unreal Engine, were you blinded by its majesty?
Absolutely not. If I was blinded by anything, it was all the noise on the screen every time an explosion happened.
Also slow-mo. I didn't have a great experience on the 4090 with ultra settings and frame gen because there's something going on with the cutscenes. They get like it's pixelated. I did. Yeah,
the cutscenes are locked to 30 FPS, by the way.
Which is disgusting, right?
Very.
But when I turned off frame gen, kept everything ultra and went down to 1440p, it runs a lot smoother, and the cutscenes are still 30 FPS garbage, but they don't artifact like Kay talked about in this video. When you turn off frame gen, which who needs that?
It doesn't really need frame gen anyway.
It doesn't. I don't like playing shooters with frame gen on because it's just added latency that you really don't need when you're playing a shooter. You need the things to be as low latency as possible. So like what you did is what like we discussed it offline. It was Yeah, I went 1440p, DLSS Ultra, and did ultra settings, and I'm getting like 90 to 100 frames per second. I have a 4080 Super, so your GPU is better than mine. But like that was fine for me. The image cleaned up way more than what I was doing before at 4K, and kind of like trying to optimize my settings, and it's fine. It's fine. And art direction wise, I like what they're doing. It's just they got to clean up some of the actual technical visual stuff that still seems to be a little problematic.
One thing I also really like about is the lighting that they're doing. So I don't know if this, I guess we'll give Unreal some credit, but just watching the reflections of the plasma shots, like
especially in the dark.
Yeah, like all of that's great.
It animates, so like it like the bullets, the shots, specifically the laser weapons, like refract like light through the environment so beautiful, but especially when it's super dark.
This is an interesting question, right? Because to my eyes, I do, on the interior scenes, I do prefer the contrast from the characters and the background that you get in Infinite, but that's partly because they don't have this dynamic lighting system, right? Mm-hmm. And is there an idea where the lighting might be too realistic for what a Halo should be on the interior? I love it when I'm outside.
I like it. I understand that can lead to people like not being visibly like descriptive, like you can't see it.
Like really. I feel like I'm shooting at shadows.
Blends. I get it, but I like it. That's how light would work in this environment, and that's how light is working. And now, of course,
I agree with you. I do like the lighting.
Too realistic.
I like it. It is, and it will take some getting used to, right? It just will. But I like the way the lighting is being accurately depicted, rather than just for the gamer's sake. Let's make them glow, and they do glow, kinda, right? If you hit them at the energy shield level and all that, you do see that. But yes, there's far more ability for it to blend into the world, because that's just how light works, I don't know. I think
the last thing I'll say on this is before the game came out, and I talked to you and Slow-Mo about this, I didn't know from the trailers that I liked the banter of Sergeant Johnson. I thought he was a little bit too chatty patty. Yeah. To me, it actually worked. It shows him and Chief have been on a few missions before. They have a rapport. They work together well. And it's like seeing a side of Chief where he actually has a friend before Cortana's there.
He was a cool wingman. It was good, right? It was good. I like that. It was very nice.
So
he had more lines like that than we've ever heard him speak. It's almost like he regressed in his line delivery. Like, if you're playing it in chronological, he got quieter instead of like getting more chatty over time, right? Because in the prequels, he's just chatting away with his buddy, the whole time.
Well, maybe after the things go down and combat evolved, he
gets sad.
He'll stop smiling.
Exactly. Let's finish this off. Floodzilla with a 5. He says,
and we got to get Lucius's opinion after you do.
We'll get there. Absolutely. Flood says with a 5. Thank you, Flood. He says pixels ain't supposed to be in 4D. No, but I can dig it. Good morning, GCP. Good morning, the great Penguin representative. First off, Lucius, have you played? Did you get a chance to play? And if you have, please give us your take, sir.
I did not get a chance to play yet. I'm gonna be with all the other heathens who play it later on, not the early access day one, because I've just stopped having faith in Microsoft properly releasing early access things.
You're not wrong.
There's people who had issue gaining access to the Forza Horizon early access. We've had issues with like when Ninja Gaiden Black 2.
Yo, what are you doing?
Like we couldn't download it on the.
Says stone him.
We couldn't listen. At this point, Xbox got to prove that they deserve my money, because every time that I try to give my money to the Xbox ecosystem, I get screwed over, right?
To be fair to you on that point, it also didn't release in the best conditions, right? Like it released and people were in early access, people couldn't download their game. It was a whole show. It was a whole shit show at the beginning.
They didn't have that problem on the PlayStation.
Yeah, they didn't
Hey,
have that
stop
problem on
it.
the PlayStation, which is crazy.
Stop it.
Don't get mad at me.
No.
They the one who
Guess
decided to do
what?
that dumb shit.
PlayStation
we see
also
who's
said hold my beer, and then
we see who's the
PlayStation
priority.
said hold my beer, and then they also had issues another time. But
Well, they had their entire network down. That's its own thing.
That's right.
But,
That was
like,
a
Hey,
whole-
what? Hold on. We just saw the Odyssey. What if Halo was the Trojan horse that took it down?
oh my god.
Asher playing 4D chess.
Oh, man.
Stop it.
Like
So go ahead, man. Lucius, what do you think, sir?
I find it just infuriating that Microsoft, a company known for its like infrastructure, can't do releases properly. With Crimson Desert, one of the biggest games of the year, both physically and based off of Zeitgeist, right? That game had a really hype release, and people on Xbox couldn't even boot the game up without doing some sort of weird thing where they would like have to put it into offline mode because there's some weird check that was broken or something. Ninja Gaiden Black 2, when that released as a shadow drop, it didn't properly download on people. I had to like go into the Windows store to be able to download the game, despite it should have appearing on the Xbox app. And obviously this next part is not necessarily Microsoft's fault, but I'm still gonna, it's still bad as me, somebody in the experience. I wanted to play Avatar, the fighting game, and 12 hours before the game is supposed to release, it's getting delayed by a month and a half on Xbox. Come on, man.
Yeah,
like
that's the developers.
There's only so much disrespect that I can take of like not, and I understand it. Like you're not the lead platform, X, Y, and Z, but there's only so much a customer is expected to deal with before they're just like, you know what? I'm not gonna give you guys my money until you've proven to me that this thing is working, and then when it does, then maybe I'll pay for the early access, or I'll just wait for the game to actually come out on Game Pass since I pay for Game Pass. But this idea of me giving them more money, they're gonna have to prove to me that they know what they're doing, because at this point, like I don't know.
Wait till the real day one has issues next week.
Oh boy, don't do that to him. Don't do that to him. That's painful right there, huh? Lucius, you make a point, and it didn't go well as it continues to never go well on these releases. So you have every right to have some slander on it, So it is what it is. I continue to shake my head
of asking for more money to get it early, right?
Yeah. I continue to shake my head. This never seems to go well for some reason. I don't know.
Emmanuel A1 in the chat is on Lucius's neck. You want to read that one?
Emmanuel A1 with a 5. He says there is no issue.
Okay, so the entire
early access.
Lying.
Let the man get his chat out.
Fine, he paid the money for it. Fine.
He is contributing to you being able to go to PAX West, sir. Let the man say his piece. He says with a 5, there is no issue playing Halo early access. People just have enough brain power to launch the actual game instead of the bonus content. He says so with a sneer.
Okay, so the entire internet is just brain dead. You're the only person with brain cells, according to you. All the different websites and every single person who's having problems launching the game properly. Apparently, they're all dumb. You're the only.
Well,
smart
I do know what he's talking about, and maybe it's my brain power.
He says apparently,
but I will say that if you got the $20 upgrade and you go to try to select that, it's going to take you to this art book thing or just nothing. You have to go to the standard after you buy the premium thing. So the thing that you bought is not the thing that it's a little convoluted in the way that you access it.
Yeah. And I actually did that as well. And I know what he's talking about, but I do not agree with him whatsoever. After you pay for the if you have Game Pass and you do the $20 upgrade to get the premium, it does not change how it looks for basically the game, which is still showing as the standard edition. It still says do a pre-install, and then it still says right there in the top right corner, available in 4 days. So if you just paid to play it early, why don't you have anything updated for the actual person on their account to show they can play it right now?
Just so people can kind of connect the dots here. Like historically, when you do get an early access, it changes the installer's capability, and all of a sudden, as soon as you paid for it, and now it's on your account. Now, when you go there, it says install or something like that to let you know you can install. When you did that this time, since the premium edition is a different package than the standard edition flag didn't change, and you still need to download it in order to play the game. So people were like, okay, I downloaded the premium edition, but I don't see anything changed. They didn't think to go download the standard edition because it still says pre-order or pre-download, rather than changing the flag to let you know that, oh, you now earn the right to download it early. They didn't make that connection.
Yeah.
So
and this is also to be clear, this is well after the game was not available, was not downloading for people. This is like 3 hours after that.
Yes.
So the issue of people saying I can't play the game now that it's available is not that issue. That's a separate issue. It really wasn't available.
Yes.
Likely because they did not have the available bandwidth for all the downloads, considering Call of Duty was launching season 5 of Black Ops 7 at the exact same time, which is bad logistics on their part. So
I played it on day one, but I didn't have time to play it till after 11 o'clock at night. So they probably solved all of that by then. Yeah, I will say Emmanuel A1 says, I played it, therefore it works. So apparently the A, hold on, the A, listen. The A in Emmanuel stands for anecdote. So
or autistic.
Hey now, calm down.
What?
He's that dude who
my bad. Go ahead.
Stop it. He's that dude that on day one when Cyberpunk was screwing up, he was like, yo, I had no issues.
Yeah,
no, that's the dude. That's the dude you call in tech support that says it works on my machine.
Right.
No slander to Manuel. We appreciate you, bro. We just having some fun, but it's all good.
Join the Discord.
Exactly. You will appreciate our Discord. Join the Discord. Anyway, so if you haven't checked out the reviews of it, let's check out the reviews of it. And lots of people have different points on it.
We should talk.
Some of us gray beards.
Okay, I got 10 minutes. I have to run. Just to let you know.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So some of us have like love it. Others are still kind of lukewarm on it. Since you have 10 before you got to go, like any last discussion you want to have on it as a game. I know that there's a lot of meta talk about the news and all that, equaling Halo as well. You could broach into that as well if you wish.
And let me tee you up, Slow-Mo. The biggest talk that I've heard about this is usually when you have a remake of a classic, the score is close to what it originally was. People talk about Metroid. People talk about these other remakes. What is it if the original Campaign Evolved got a 97? Why does this have a 16-point dip? What do you think the reason for that is?
Because there's people who started blaming Xbox for Israeli actions in the Middle East.
Oh God!
Well, we'll come to that. Slow-Mo got 10 minutes. Slow-Mo got 10 minutes.
I think it's a combination of things. It is odd reviews of people saying, I got the Halo game, I'm doing the review. By the way, I don't like Microsoft because Microsoft did XYZ and they laid people. Like, bro, shut up. Do the review, keep your personal feelings out of it. Like, I don't understand why that's so difficult. Like, if you can't review the game because you're so bent out of shape out of everything else that's going on that's completely out of the control of Halo Studios and them working on that game and the people who spent years working on the game, then you should just pass that on to somebody else. That said, something that is different from some of these other games that have got remakes over the years, I think there is also a massive gap. It's been 25 years since this game came out, and a game that was at the time it came out revolutionary in the first-person shooter genre, having a campaign that was so well done, which was just not really done back then like that, as well as working on controller in a way that hadn't been done. They really revolutionized the first-person shooter genre. Today, that's just not as enticing as it once was, as well as the way things have shifted.
Today it's called the
Halo-
boomer shooter, sir. It's called the boomer shooter.
Exactly.
Oh, no.
Yeah. You know, like if you tell people not the ADS in the game, they flip out. What? I'm not supposed to ADS with this gun. There's no ADS. Like they don't like that.
Am I wrong, or have all the new guns had an ADS though? All of them have now.
Oh well, no.
They have some form of ADS now.
ADS is not. You pull the left trigger and it zooms in a little bit. That's not ADS.
Yeah, that's
ADS is literally aim down sight, like you're aiming down sight. That's what they're
looking through the scope.
Looking through the scope, which you could do with some weapons, like the sniper rifle, but you can't do.
But not all the weapons.
With all the weapons.
Yeah,
so like that's what they're talking about. And in addition to the fact that there is no multiplayer, and considering how some of these other games may not even have a multiplayer aspect, or if they do have it, it's very, very like the amount of people who played it is like a huge minority. That's not the case with Halo. Halo has a massive multiplayer community. The majority of the people who play Halo for long periods of time, they're playing the multiplayer. They're not playing the campaign. So when you don't have that in there, then, you know, some people are going to ding you for that, you know, and that's going to vary depending on the person who cares about multiplayer or doesn't. But no, I do think that some of these issues that we're seeing, some of these reviews, so it ain't like about the game. Some of these reviews are about the layoffs. Some of these reviews are about Microsoft in general. People blaming them for the AI boom and the Rampapocalypse and all that other stuff.
Some people are blaming them for the conflict in the Middle East right now, as if Microsoft was the ones who dropped the bombs on Iran.
Yeah, that's just stupid. It's just to be frank, that's stupid. You're a stupid person if you're blaming them for that, or in the sense of I'm going to ding this review because of that. You're a stupid person.
Something else.
Super don't understand. These are the same people who are the bleeding hearts, being all like, you shouldn't fire anybody, blah 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 blah. And yet you are the ones giving these games bad scores, not because the games are bad,
getting fired,
because you want to get your anger out, and now that's gonna lead to people losing their jobs. Like I can't. It doesn't equate inside of my brain, bro. It just doesn't make any sense.
Let me finish up though. That's it. At 81 is not a bad score. So like there, we always get into these things, and this is why, and I always say this. I hate review scores because no one pays attention to the review. They just skip on to the actual score, or they just read like a blurb that was made on Metacritic of like a couple of sentences from the review. No one actually cares about anyone's review. They just care about scores, and if it's 990. It is hell like brimstone and fire. It's the worst thing in the world. And 81 is actually a good review score, but no one cares because it's 990 and they can't brag about it. So, or they got the other side, you know, laughing, pointing and laughing like, you know, The Simpsons or something. So it's just, I can't stand scores because it's just like nothing is, unless it's over a 90 or a 95, no one's ever satisfied. I like reviews from people like ACG, who just gives you straight up their recommendation and they break the whole thing down. And because there's no review score, most people actually listen to what he has to say. They listen to the things that he criticizes. They listen to the things that he enjoys. And then they kind of view that as a more relevant review than, say, someone who's just like, and we've seen it, someone will completely ish on the game and then give it like an 8.5. Or they glaze a game and then give it a 7.5.
I think that's what Games Radar just did that. They was like, this is a faithful remake. It hits all the notes. 7.
And you're just like, what?
Yeah, so this is why I just like, I wish there wasn't scores, because then they're just like, or the scores weren't as important as people make them to be, because if that wasn't the case, then people wouldn't do things like that, or there wouldn't be so many arguments about, well, why did the original have a 97 and then this one has an 81, and people are immediately dismissing everything but what they think the reason is, even though it could be a multitude of reasons all put together, but instead, it's just Xbox tax. Oh no, it's just that the multiplayer is missing. Oh no, it's just because of the Rampocalypse. It could be a multitude of those reasons, but why do we care? It's still a good score. Like I just don't. For me, it's just I don't get it.
In principle, I agree with you, right? But I think there's a pattern that people notice. And again, I understand sometimes people see patterns that are not there, right? But when you put all of these things together and you look at how, because again, any individual reviewer is going to have a different opinion. And I don't think you should attribute a site to individual opinions. You can follow individuals' opinions and see if they change. But what you see a lot of the time,
like a site can have one guy do one review, and then later on another guy's doing a different review. It's not. The site's not a conglomerate. So I get that. Yeah.
But why is it that we put? Why is it that we put certain emphasis on certain things when it comes to Xbox games? Like, oh, why is it that they didn't have the multiplayer in this? Last of Us Part 2 didn't get dinged by one media outlet, or Last of Us Part 1, sorry. Last of Us Part 1 remake did not get dinged by even one outlet for the fact that they did not have a core feature that was in the original game, which was the factions. They didn't even give you the little factions that was inside of the first game. And I get it. I would understand why some media outlet would ding Halo. And I don't think that that's the problem. I think the problem is where you see a complete and utter lack of that level of scrutiny for PlayStation releases. That I think that's where the disparity comes in.
See, and we've had this discussion before. I mean, at least I had this discussion with everyone earlier this week before. I see it a little differently, especially because people keep using that example while ignoring the dynamics of factions with The Last of Us versus Halo multiplayer. The majority of people who play Halo, the majority of the time they're spending in it is in the multiplayer. That is the opposite, and very, very opposite of The Last of Us. We looked at the trophies. The trophy percentages are less than 10% of people who have like the most basic of trophies in factions. That's because the vast majority of them played the story. That's what people are there for. When people talk about The Last of Us, they're talking about the characters, the story, the emotional heart, hits. Everyone knows that the first, prologue stuff. All that's what they talk about. They ain't talking about that, the amazing things they can do in factions. I don't know. I mean, I know a few people who talk about factions, and they're the ones that, have been giving Naughty Dog and Sony hell ever since they announced it was going to be separate from part 2, and then factions got canceled. But like, it's not a 1-to-1, because no factions in The Last of Us Part 1 or Part 2 is like, that's not good, but most people ain't really here for that. Versus Halo, where a lot of people were there for the multiplayer, which is missing. And as we said earlier, it could be somewhat explained away if there was some explanation on what you're doing with the multiplayer, because there's a crowd of Halo fans. They're there for that. They aren't getting any kind of satisfaction, and there's a much bigger percentage than the people who play The Last of Us who play faction.
But Slow-Mo, I would
Halo campaign, Halo Combat Evolved multiplayer is not Halo 2 multiplayer. It's not Halo 3 multiplayer. We can't simply put Halo multiplayer underneath one giant umbrella.
Okay, what do you mean by that?
What I mean by that is Halo Combat Evolved did not have a significant multiplayer scene. What it did have is a huge LAN scene where you and your
that's the only thing that was available.
I understand. But
so you really don't have any facts behind that.
Please let me finish.
Okay.
Even when you look at MCC, Master Chief Collection, where all the fucking games are, and you can do all the different combination of things. Halo CE multiplayer gets almost no play because as a multiplayer experience, outside of like you playing with your buddies as a LAN, whatever, it was never properly balanced for a multiplayer experience. And people who play MCC recognize that it's just bad and don't play it. You will barely get into any CE lobbies trying to do any multiplayer because people don't play it that much because as a multiplayer, it's just not good. So are we asking for them to completely remake?
Okay, wait, pause.
Experience?
Do you play multiplayer, Lucius?
Yes, I do. I have 500 hours in Infinite. I have I did a lot of hours in multiplayer for Halo.
Okay.
I'm not the best Halo player out there, but I'm better than some people. But like
Halo Infinite, Halo Combat Evolved's multiplayer is not bad. Is it as good as 2 and 3? No, but it's not bad.
I think it's bad.
See, Slow-mo, let me help you out here real quick. Because you wasn't in the Discord. Just listen to this real quick. I got you. Okay. You missed it in the Discord yesterday. When I heard this nonsense coming from Lucius and the other gentleman that was speaking, I can't remember his name now. The first thing I asked is, what year were you young punks born? And one of them told me 1997. And I was like, if you wasn't in a college dorm running LAN cables under in the hallways when your RA wasn't looking, don't come talk to me about, hey,
you were not there.
But
you were not there playing Halo Combat Evolved that launch.
I told Everborn that I was running LAN cables throughout our house.
You were not there playing Halo Combat Evolved that launch. You were not. You talk about LAN parties you were never a part of. You talk about things.
What are you talking about? I was doing the LAN parties in 2001 and 2002 for Halo.
Okay, so you were doing all that, and you're telling me that's bad multiplayer?
Yes, as a overall multiplayer experience, it's bad.
No, it's not.
No one said that in 2001.
You would
know 2001 we didn't have those standards of like
the fact that it was good. The fact that it was good is the reason why so many people play Halo for multiplayer more than the campaign.
In Halo 2 and Halo 3, yes, that is correct.
No, in Halo 1, Halo 1 multiplayer is so good. People came up with their own X Connect to make sure they could play online. But apparently, because of what you're saying, that the multiplayer was bad. So why were they doing that? Doesn't make any sense.
My point is, even when people have the opportunity to be,
well, he was like 11.
To you.
How old were you when this game multiplayer?
I was 11 when this game came out.
Exactly.
I was running Cat 3 at the
your
time.
balls hadn't even dropped yet. So
I don't give a goddamn. I was still running those cat cables.
What you're saying is that you're not good at multiplayer now.
I'm gonna put Aaron's chat back up again because
you weren't good at multiplayer then. So you were the one that was a bullet dumpster for everyone else in the multiplayer. It doesn't matter the position of my balls. You are saying it's bad multiplayer because you got in the body.
It's the same, sir. The Ethernet was being plugged in. The Cisco routers were being connected.
You were the IT guy for the wide area network. We were doing all of that because clearly you weren't.
Oh damn!
Okay, we were doing all of that.
You were the one connecting the Ethernet
cables
into the switches.
I was doing it. Yes.
Yeah, and you sat on the side and watched them play because you was getting curb stomped, right?
Wait.
Oh my God!
Now, Lucius, did you have 16 people in your house that you was running these things for?
We had 8.
Okay. See,
where did you finish in all this?
Number 3.
My
2 best friends were way better than me, but I was better.
I'm not surprised. That's fine.
But I was better than the rest of the lobby. So hey,
listen. You had to be there. Is what
at the end of the day.
Yeah. And Lucius wasn't there.
Just because you're lucky we're not in the Discord right now because I'd be saying something much
say it.
Much crazier.
Say it. I dare you.
Like
a double dare.
No, I'm not trying to ruin. I'm not trying to ruin Kesante's monetization.
Okay, look. I'm gonna just say this. I'm gonna say this. We can close it out and I can leave. Do I recognize that like the entire design of Halo Combat Evolved's multiplayer isn't as well done? It's the foundation. So of course, Halo 2, especially Halo 3 is better. That said, it was fantastic. It was fantastic, not just for its time, but it was just fantastic, period. And I remember playing with my friends, LAN parties, all night long till the sun came up. We just straight drinking Mountain Dew and talking trash.
Yep.
Hang 'em high, let's go. And we all night long. Pause. We will be.
That sounds like a great multiplayer experience, Slomo.
Exactly. If it was a bad multiplayer experience,
in the year of 2026, do you put in the effort to be able to make a multiplayer that nobody really is going to play beyond the first week?
Bro, if you played the original campaign on Combat Evolved with the original control scheme, which is so far outdated compared to what people play now,
buttons, I remember those.
Like people, like everyone is literally talking about how he wants the controls and the gunplay of Halo Infinite. So what you're basically saying is that don't modernize anything about the multiplayer.
Ladies and gentlemen, let us stop beating up on the young blood. Stop beating up on the petulant one.
Hey, look, if I want to beat up on some tadpoles out here, I'm gonna beat up on some tadpoles, some fetuses out here.
Come on, man.
This feed.
Okay, Drake.
I'm messing with
ageism.
I'm messing with Lucius, but no. Like if you were a young buck and you know you were like basically just learning how to wipe yourself, and when Halo Combat Evolved came out, don't talk. I'm about to be like, don't talk to me about the multiplayer if your KD in Halo Infinite is below a 1.0. Then we don't even need to have a discussion because you don't understand multiplayer whatsoever. But like,
I probably can't talk to you about the multiplayer, but I happen to agree with you. So keep going.
The worst person in the room is agreeing with you right now. It's crazy.
Vandal called me a tadpole. Vandal is like 80 years old, okay, in the chat.
Oh,
he's like,
man.
everyone to him is a tadpole.
Now we're slandering. What are we doing right now? Stop it. Let's regroup, okay? Y'all are killing the show.
Welcome to the Discord, ladies and gentlemen.
This is solely the Discord. Like, all right.
Come on, get those super chats, K.
Let's go with super chats.
Then I'm gonna bounce. I'm gonna bounce after you finish.
Okay. All right. So the great Silent Cypher with the $10. He said, strong disagree with Emmanuel. I tech supported the hell out of it, trying all avenues to get the game to play initially. Once things were all fixed in the background, my copy magically worked. It's not my issue. And I will say I was helping a few other folks in our Discord like get the game up and running. There was actually a problem. There were multiple issues in addition to how they set it up and made it confusing for people to download the wrong stuff, which is also fair, which is also true. But there was actually a launch issue. So Manuel, I don't think Emmanuel suggested that there was no launch issue. He just said that he was able to get it to work on his system.
No, he said that people didn't have the necessary IQ necessary to
Yeah. I remember he threw some chum in the water for you and you bit it. I remember.
Hey, it wasn't me. He threw the chum in the water for everybody.
I'm saying, big pause. The Infinite Umbra with a $5 super chat. He says, to be clear, the game had server-side outages, account authentication glitches, and it was incompatible with Game Pass tier requirements per Halo Studios. And he
incorrect, Umbra. According to Emmanuel, you're all just dumb.
Yes.
And Umbra left out the Unreal issues forget it. Keep going.
Man. And then First and 15th too with a $2 super chat. He says, I was born in 87. That ish was mid. 007's better.
You don't believe that.
What?
I don't know. I don't know if that person believes.
See, Lucius, that's your man's. That's your man's, Lucius. He's on your side of the argument.
Oh, don't start putting people on me.
Then, yes, sir. Then the great Pixel Bit G, who just left us, he dropped a $2 super chat. And he says, "I'm convinced Lucius was just saying."
No, be just saying.
he just be just saying shit. That's right.
And I agree. I agree, Pixel.
Yes, we call him the petulant one for a reason. It is what it is. And then,
only you call him that.
Well, yeah, some of us do. Yes. Oh, Paris, man, he's still in there throwing chum in the water. Anyway, shout out to Paris Lily. Floodzilla with a $5 super chat. He says, everything you young people like is whack. Cut this man's mic off. Hell yeah, you, Lucius. Very gray beard energy.
I can hear your knees. I can hear your knees cracking from here.
Oh, that is foul. That's foul. You ain't need to do that.
I know. No, apparently I do.
And then Day Reezy with a $2 super chat. He says, waiting on Asante to say, Everborn, get the table.
No, you got to say it like the Dudley brothers. Everborn, get the table. You gotta say it like that.
There you go.
The question is who's going through the table.
He continues in another 2000 says, y'all didn't know Lucius was an Xbox hater beforehand.
What?
No. He's definitely not an Xbox hater. He's probably one of the last holdouts.
No.
The
thing is, Lucius's Xbox hate comes from a place of love. You can't get that angry about something that you don't have strong feelings for.
Indeed.
That's not what you guys say about me. But that's fine.
because you actually are a hater.
I am not a hater. And
you called yourself a hater. You've said it. You use the Ice-T meme all the time.
What? No, I don't. Hate. No evidence of that whatsoever. I love Halo, and so
I didn't say you was a Halo hater. I just say you were a general hater. Oh, just like in general.
Yeah, I hate it. Yeah, you're right.
Exactly.
I
you see?
Everything. See, but that's different. That's different though. But yeah.
All right. So,
we're have a good weekend, sir.
Have a good weekend, sir. Thank you, Solo Backstop, for being here. Let the fine people know where they can catch DPS with you and the calmer side of DPS.
Is he calmer? I don't. He ain't been calm ever since PlayStation got rid of physical media. That man been on a heater. So look, shout out to Game and
talk about that a
little
bit
brother.
Today too.
Yeah. So yeah, DPS podcast. That's Damage Per Second podcast. Me, Game and Forte. Also, we have our third panelist, who's now permanent panelist, Ramon Terrell, actor extraordinaire.
Shout out to him. Also writer. I have a few of his books.
Writer. Yep. Actor, writer, all that good stuff. Not so good in multiplayer as well, like Lucius, but it's fine. You know, I love Ramon. I love Lucius too. You guys have a great rest of the show. I'll try to watch the replay of the rest once I kind of get finished with some family things. But you guys enjoy your day. Chat. Have an awesome weekend. And hey.
The great slow-mo backslap. There you go. So let's regroup. We are going to continue some Halo talk towards the end of the show. I know there's some rumor and speculation that people want to talk about. They're going to come for me if we don't talk about what Rebs Gaming is talking about. We'll get there. But before we do, let's regroup. This week, I think there's going to be a lot of on the real chat. We're going to have a bit because there's the Paramount thing that I know Everborn you've been following, and I also want to talk about some of the moving and shaking both in Marvel. Because there's been Hall H information that happened, almost gaming adjacent. There's some Wolverine talk that happened there.
Don't forget that Zach Krieger Resident Evil talk.
The Zach Krieger Resident Evil. Oh, and of course, because he cannot just do it in the chat, ladies and gentlemen, the great Paris Lily joins
Paris, he couldn't let Sonic live on his 35th anniversary, so he came here to hate on Sonic. I understand.
Hey.
Actually, I came here to talk Halo, but you said you ain't talking to that till later. So I guess I'm too.
Hold on. No. Look at his subtitle. He came in here with the Sonic hater in the subtitle. We know why you here, sir.
While you're here, Paris, maybe you can join us in this one because this is more movies and TV talk, which we've been talking about. I'm sure you'll.
Well, I've been making people mad all week. You know, it's funny. Like you said, Lucius. You said Lucius is an Xbox hater, but it's out of love. I've been on the MCU's neck for the past couple of weeks because it's out of love.
As you should.
And people get very mad at me.
There's been no lead up to the movie, and I'm not going to act like it is just because they told me to get hyped, because they throwing everything at the wall and hoping it stick. But go ahead. You can tee it up. Okay.
Let me just say this real quick. I don't even know where you're going.
Do the MCU talk. Go ahead.
Let me tell you the MCU talk. My thing is simply this. I watched the Dooms, like my Spider-Man Brand New Day hype is out of pocket. I'm actually seeing it Monday, so I can't wait to talk about it. Okay. But that Doomsday trailer, that told me everything I've suspected the past 2 years. Doomsday and Secret Wars is nothing but a band-aid of nostalgia hype so that they can reset everything and get to the mutants. That's it. There was no excitement for what I saw in that trailer other than, oh, cool. Oh, you see this person, you see that person. But the big problem that people are so mad at me about is, the MCU has been nothing but a misstep since Endgame when you got to run it back with Chris Evans, Chris Hemsworth, and Robert Downey Jr.
No, but it goes further than that. It goes further than that because it's not all just them. They also brought back who's the best directors everybody liked, the Russo brothers.
But that's
and
my
who's
point.
the writers they like, Marcus and McFeely.
And I even just said the other day, and people were furious. I go, the fact that you got to retcon Endgame and add 7 minutes of new footage to make it a direct sequel, direct lead into Doomsday, is my point exactly. In other words, all these movies that we've had since 2019 did not lay the foundation like, oh my God, I can't wait for Doomsday. And then someone pointed out a great fact that this is a multiverse story. You literally have a character that can literally travel through the multiverse at will in America Chavez. She ain't in the movie. Help that make sense to me. Please.
Yeah, that's a MacGuffin gone wrong. Is that right there? That's a MacGuffin gone wrong.
Fan. Yeah, I'm an MCU fan because it was just funny. I randomly started watching Civil War yesterday, and I was watching the chase scene with Bucky, Black Panther, and Cap, and I'm like, this is what I'm talking about. This was we were in our bag back then. From Winter Soldier to Endgame, the MCU couldn't miss, and then ever since, like Deadpool said, miss after miss after miss. It's just they've done no character development. Because let's be real, Captain Marvel and Black Panther were supposed to be the leads after Endgame. Obviously, Chadwick, that was tragic, and no one just gravitated to Carol Danvers. Think about it. She's not even in this trailer. That says all you need to know right there. I'm just saying. That's it.
Well, I mean, there's entire YouTube grift channels designed and based on the hate of Captain Marvel. And that just kind of shows me that they're a little bit scared to put her in the trailer if she's going to be in the movie. But again, this is my issue, right? My biggest annoyance with this is the lie that infinity screens are a thing because they didn't get the IMAX screens.
Yeah, that's
like it really bothers me, right? Yeah. So then it is like, yes, you're pulling out all the stops, you're doing the greatest hits, right? But Cap pulling Mjolnir towards him, it don't hit like it does the first time.
No,
right? The stopping of the two fingers, again, it doesn't hit like it's supposed to. And these characters, the new characters that they introduce, haven't spent any time together. And I just don't feel like there's been and I understand that it doesn't need to be in other movies, but this is the MCU's entire brand of connecting everything and building up to it. And it is like what it feels like. And I've said that, like, if you're in the Discord, you heard me say this before, but you haven't heard me say this. It is more of a parade than it is a plot, right? Hey, you remember Patrick Stewart? You love him. Oh, you remember that when Channing Tatum was supposed to play Gambit? Let's throw him in there. Oh, all right. You really wanted to see Cyclops do this, and it's just all of these things that just feel like they're designed to bring the MCU back. And I don't know, right? And I don't actually like. I don't want to say like I'm dooming and glooming it, but when you think about what this film needs to do and all the money that they put into it, do we think this is going to do bigger box office than? Forget about Endgame, Infinity War. Do you think it's going to do $2.1 billion?
I'll throw this nugget at you. I don't think it does more than Brand New Day.
I've been saying this. And they keep coming at me like they keep looking at me like I'm crazy.
And I have to address Infinite Umber really quick. I don't mean to cut you off, but let me address Infinite Umber because him and I got beef anyways. So you say I'm tripping. But let's be clear here. I love Deadpool and Wolverine. I thought it was fantastic. But Deadpool is a fourth wall breaking character. That is not something that is pivotal to the overall story of the MCU. It is great for what it is. Now, other people are going to get mad with what I say right now, but Spider-Man No Way Home, great for the nostalgia when you see the other two Peters. Go watch it again. It's not that good. I'm just saying. That's just
Paris. I want to say
in facts because that entire movie was nostalgia bait. It wasn't until the very end when they were brave enough to kill
Aunt May that I was just like, okay, maybe this.
maybe forget about spoilers. Okay, but Paris, I just would like to say I do not appreciate agreeing with you this much.
I know. I don't either.
I need you to just change some opinion. Say
let me throw this out there. The Odyssey was fantastic. Fantastic. If you've not seen it, go see it in IMAX 70mm. Nolan is on the top of his game. Disagree with that, then we can disagree on something.
8 out of 10. It was fine.
There you go. See, there you go. I knew it.
No, but again, I'm just thinking about like what the budget is for this thing and what they're expecting it to do, and like maybe they can do it in Secret Wars if there's a real buildup. And also, I'm playing devil's advocate. If Brand New Day teased this up properly, which it doesn't seem like Brand New Day has anything to do with this, so I don't know how. But if they tee it up properly and is really good, the hype from that can lead into this. Another thing is, why don't they just move the date? Why does it have to be on this? Paris, do you know how much it costs to take your family to the movies today?
Oh, I know. I know.
You're spending $250, right, for a family of 4. So now on the same day or the same weekend, people are gonna have to choose. And this is not a Barbenheimer thing where it's like if you're in the Barbie, you're in the Barbie, and if you're in the Oppenheimer, you're in the Oppenheimer. There's a Venn diagram which is very close of the people who would be interested in Dune and interested in the MCU, and now you're forcing them to choose. And a lot of people are just not gonna have it to go twice to the movies, or people that maybe would have seen any of these movies twice. They're not going to do that now because they got to see both. And you putting that. I live in New York, Judah Roars, and like go to the movies with 4 people in New York. see how that goes. The point is, like,
it's Disney arrogance. That's what it is. It's arrogance because and I'm cutting you off again, so I'm sorry. But I'm way more excited to see Dune Part 3 than I am Doomsday.
Now let me ask you, just because I know you've seen one, you haven't seen the other. Dune 3 or Odyssey? Who gets more accolades in the Oscars?
Man, like you said, I haven't seen Part 3 yet. Seeing that trailer in the IMAX, I was like, oh my goodness, this is gonna be so good. I'm very hyped for it, but to the point, I haven't seen it yet, so I can't. Because look, Nolan's going to get director. It's probably getting nominated for Best Picture. Matt Damon's winning Best Actor. There's probably going to be a couple supporting actor/actress noms in there as well. Cinematography, it's going to get score. It's probably going to get nominated. I mean, we'll see with Dune Part 3. I don't know yet. But I'm sure it's going to be in contention with the Odyssey for sure.
Yeah, but you know what? We'll have our accent talk later. Kay, move us forward because I got a lot of stuff to say on it, and I don't want to hold us.
Lucius, do you have any points to deliver here in the MCU block, or shall we move on? His quiet says that we should move on. All right, so I will bring this up because this is the next one I want to talk about, and this is unfortunate news, or is it by some people's imagining? Y'all remember Ryan Hurst, the voice actor for Thor, was given the role of Kratos in the real live action TV show, and people had a lot of consternation on the internet, one way or another. Blah 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 blah. We talked about that on the show. Here's an update. Supposedly he was training. Excuse me. He's been training for the role. He's been looking really great. He's been getting there, and he hurt himself, seriously injured on the set of the show, and as such has been ordered to recuperate for about a year. It says it'll take before he'll get back to fight in shape, and as such, they are now recasting the role. Before people go, oh yeah, because of one thing or another, this is what he started looking like as he was training for the role. This was like one of his latest updates, that he's training for Kratos. So this is him now before he had that incident, which now has them recasting the role. So, Everborn Saga, sir, what say you? Is this sad? Is this for the best? Are you happy? Are you sad? What do you think?
I would say Jonathan. I don't have any feelings towards it because I don't know. I was gonna watch this show, but it's not something I was looking forward to. That being said, I think they Jonathan Majors'd him, meaning they just used it. Remember, and I understand it's not okay. Look. Remember the story that came out that the voice actor for Kratos had some medical issues, so they delayed the whole game just for him, and he's a voice actor, and this is the actual like physical in the body actor, and they're not gonna hold it for him. That means it wasn't going the way they wanted, and they wanted to get rid of him, and they used this as an excuse. That's what I see. I think they looked at the fan reaction, they looked at the people reaction. People weren't excited about it.
The CG image that came out and people went, nah, fam.
Yeah, like that pose right there, and whatever photographer did that did him no favors and probably lost him the role.
Okay.
Personally, it's a
Go ahead, Lucius.
I think it's a mistake to start in this era of God of War because the only reason why God of War 2018, well, it's not the only reason why, but like the dichotomy of who Kratos used to be and who he's trying to be now, especially for his son, is what makes the 2018 game so good, because you see the dynamics between like the inner fight that's inside of Kratos. And if you have the history of Kratos, then it makes sense, because you're like, this guy used to be a monster, right? Like, and he was in his worst showing, so in some ways his best, but worst showing in God of War 3, where he just completely gave up on everything. And even after having his revenge, we see a vista of Greece completely being destroyed at the fact that the fundamental aspects of nature, their gods, had been destroyed. And so it shows you like the ramifications of Kratos's actions. And going into God of War 4, he becomes a much more gentler person, not because he is getting older or anything like that, or because he's getting weaker, but because he understands that he has to be a better person for his son. He needs to be able to set a better example than the angry person who's destroying worlds for his son. And I don't know if that's going to hit as hard if you don't see the monster that he was before.
I hear you. I hear you. So I'll turn this to you then, Paris Lily. What are your thoughts on this one? Hashtag, do we still think Ricky Whittle has a chance? If you don't know who Ricky Whittle is. Look at Ricky Whittle. Yeah. That's who we think should be God of War. Yeah. Do we think Ricky Whittle still has a chance?
Maybe. I guess we'll see. But it was funny. I'm because he was in the actor. He's in the Odyssey. So I was watching the Odyssey. The night before the news broke. I was like, oh, it's Kratos. Like in my head, because he's been he was in Remember the Titans. He's been in so much stuff. I remember seeing that picture. And I was like, yeah, whatever. Like it didn't bother me. If that is the reason, because I guess he tore his bicep and it's going to be some months till he can, rehab and come back. I mean, do you really recast essentially your lead character because of a few months delay? That just seems very
This is why we're thinking this, right? Yeah. When I forget the gentleman's name who does the voice of Kratos. He delayed the project many months because of his recuperation requirements, and they actually worked with him on that, right? And that was just the voice acting, to Everborn's point. So to not delay.
It wasn't just the voice. It was the motion capture.
It was a mocap and voice. Yeah, motion cap and voice. Yes. Yeah, Christopher Judge. Thank you.
Yeah, Christopher Judge. Yeah.
Right.
They worked around Christopher Judge's
schedule,
by the way.
Right?
Have you ever met him?
Christopher Judge? No, I have not.
Very, very large human being.
Okay. Hey, Yes. And this is being said from another large human being. That's neither here nor there. Pause. Anyway, but I guess my point is, if you can delay the project for Christopher Judge as you need to, because he is the titular hero of the project, right? And he's the voice actor and the mocap actor. Can you not do similar for Mr. Hurst, because he too needs that? And the fact that that's not happening, that does speak a little bit suspect to the fact that maybe they didn't want to keep him.
But I mean, honestly, and that picture you just showed of him was the first time I've seen that. If he's in that kind of shape,
that look good. That look good, right?
There's got to be something else to this. There's got to be. It's got to be more than just, oh, he had a bad public, first impression. Because if he's in that kind of shape, I don't think anyone's complaining about the final product. And if he got it delayed a few months because he tore his bicep, why would you bring in a whole nother actor unless there was another actor they wanted all along? That's the only thing I can think of.
Yeah, I'm not saying it's just the fan reaction to that photo. I'm saying it probably wasn't hitting the way they wanted it to. And then they said, well, there's an injury. We don't want to wait for him because this thing is probably not turning out the way we wanted to begin with. You know what I mean? It could have been a number of things. Maybe he's difficult to work with. Maybe they're difficult to work with. Whatever it is, I just don't think it's because of the injury that you recast your lead.
Yeah.
After you filmed so many episodes.
After the splashy news of him becoming your lead and all of that. It's a lot to undo for this reason. I would imagine you would work with them on their schedule and all of that. It just seems very surprising that they're doing this. But hey, it's already done. I guess y'all already heard it out there. Myself and Umbra and let's give Umbra his credit. He and I we talked about it. Umbra was first to call out Ricky Whittle. I agree with him on that. Who do we think should be the second phone call to be made here? I'll start with you, Everborn. Do you have a choice?
I'm saying this not because I believe it, but just to piss you off. It should be The Rock.
Oh my God!
Since you want him cast in everything, give it to The Rock.
Who said that? Come on, that is ridiculous, man.
And if you don't know the context of that, come to the Discord.
Come to the Discord, man. That's ridiculous. No. That should not be how. No. Absolutely not. Look,
okay, you know what? I'm putting you on Front Street. Listen, Paris. Do you know that this man wants The Rock to play Apocalypse in the new MCU? You see what I'm talking about? You see this nonsense?
You see this? Paris, you know as well as I do, because I saw you responded to many of them, that there have been lots of rumors that are permeating on X, right? And one was that what do you call it? That Dwayne Johnson was being considered for Apocalypse. And I thought that was an interesting take, and I brought it to the floor. I didn't say I want that. I didn't say, oh, this is how it should be. Stop it. Don't be ridiculous. Although I will say I have seen past Rock material, not recent Rock material, but past Rock material that led me to believe that if they work with him, there was a certain part of The Rock in his acting career that could pull it off. I don't know if it could pull it off now.
You don't think the Smashing Machine Rock could play the reserved fighter?
No, but that's what I'm saying. Like there is
reserved destroyer.
Like if you look at all of his filmography, there's parts of The Rock's career where you can go, yeah, that man can do this role. He can play the En Sabanur character correctly. Right now, of course, as soon as I say that, the quick retort is, have you seen his last, 4 or 5 movies? I agree. Right. But it's not just I'm not using that as my barometer to say he could do it. I'm using his whole library, and some of the stuff in his library shows he could do it. That's all I'm saying. Go ahead, Paris. Tell me how wrong I am.
Damn Hollywood. The Rock couldn't even play Black Adam. Why you got to come at the man like that?
No, my argument was because, like you said, I had said something on social media about it.
Yeah,
it isn't
I've seen
much
some of
that
as well.
The Rock couldn't play Apocalypse. I think he could. My thing
that's
is,
what I'm saying.
let's get away from going with the big name celebrity actors.
Well, okay.
Again, if you hold on a second, because if you bring back to the original MCU, Evans was essentially, starred in a bunch of teen movies. Hemsworth just did Spot. Remember, he was George Kirk or whatever, Captain Kirk's dad in the Star Trek reboot.
Yep.
I mean, Robert Downey Jr. had all kind of issues despite him being a great actor before, he's Iron Man. So the whole point with Scarlett Johansson wasn't that well known. The point is, they're now well known because they were built up through the MCU. Let's do that again, which I'm pretty sure that's what they're doing with the X-Men cast. But let's do that with Apocalypse too. Apocalypse doesn't need to be an A-list guy.
The reason why we brought this up, right, and you weren't part of that conversation, just let me just fill in the quick gaps for you. The reason we brought this up is the idea that once they reset that, and we all agree that once the universe is reset, you will basically be recasting no-name actors, presumably relatively no-name actors for all of the main roles, right? All of the main roles, you'll be casting relatively newer name actors for those roles, right? But the idea was, well, historically,
Paris, I'm going to destroy this argument as soon as he's done.
Historically, you always have to anchor it around one big bad, right? And you don't want the big bad to be this huge actor. It has to be somebody so it draws in the crowd. But it can't be this actor that you then put in all these other movies because he's expensive. You don't want to necessarily pay him for 4 or 5 movies as a buildup. So that's what we were saying, that in that zeitgeist, imagine what they did recently in the MCU, what people still want, right? So historically, it would be about 15 minutes of footage peppered throughout all the other movies before you have him be the big bad in the culminating.
Yeah, look at Josh Brolin. Josh Brolin is a known actor.
That is the exact thing.
That's all I'm saying.
That's what we were saying. That's what we were saying. That's what the argument and the conversation we were framing around, to say that could be the En Sabanur character peppered in throughout the other. And
let's be real about
something,
and
then culminate to Apocalypse in the end. Yeah.
But you're saying in the new MCU. Sorry, Paris. You're saying you're saying post reboot you want The Rock, or you saying pre reboot?
No, we're saying post reboot. That could be a way to have their ultimate X-Men movie.
Oh, you're not even talking about just using it as a one-off and replacing them. Oh my God, this gets worse.
Go ahead, this would be a one-off. Like, what are you talking about? Like,
no, so it is a one-off, but he is your Apocalypse in your new MCU. This is what you're saying.
Until you defeat him, yes.
Oh my God!
Right?
All right, go ahead.
You build him up 4 or 5 movies, and then
I'm actually. I could see maybe him showing up and then the reboot happens, but like, I don't know, man.
But the only point I was trying to make, and someone said this in the chat, so I don't want to take credit for this, is Apocalypse is probably CGI anyways.
Yes,
so
he'll be white.
All you need is a great voice, a dope voice.
Yes,
it doesn't matter who the actor is.
I want to say 2 words to you, Paris, because it's right in front of our face, especially if it's only going to be CGI. Oscar fucking Isaac, who already played the man and is a fantastic actor. And if it's going to be CGI, you can do the look.
He's Moon Knight.
Better than The Rock.
He's already Moon Knight. No.
Yeah, that's true.
But he might not make it. He might not make it through Battle World. So let's just
the whole point I was making with Apocalypse, and I'll say it again, is let's give other people a chance instead of the same people over and over. Look, the only person that gets a pass on this is Denzel. Let Denzel do whatever he wants.
Damn.
That's it.
Who's Denzel gonna be?
He's making the case for Denzel as a.
No, he's in Black Panther.
Oh yeah, I heard that. I did hear
yes,
that as a rumor. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So y'all have slandered me enough for my takes. I think it's an interesting rumor. We'll see where it goes.
But anyway. Hold on. Wait a minute. Y'all are over here talking about Oscar Isaacs is Moon Knight. Iron Man is Doctor Doom. Nothing matters anymore.
Well,
let's stop this.
He does have a point.
Back to my original point when we started this MCU conversation. The fact that you had to dust off Robert Downey Jr. and bring him back says it all. Mm-hmm. And you
Grumpy Shaman.
You know he's going to be Iron Man at some point too. He's coming back.
He's going to come back. Of course. Maybe in the same movie. Who knows? Yep. Grumpy Shaman drops a 5 and says, "Great show as always. Thank you so much for checking us out. We appreciate you, sir." Let's go back to more gaming. More
no
/TV news.
Oh yeah, Warner Brothers.
Yes, more movie/TV news, because we're heading towards the Warner Brothers conversation. Everborn Saga, I know you have been paying a lot of attention to this whole Warner Brothers back and forth, and now the latest of it, if I'm not mistaken, is that they're pausing They're pausing, or are they paying out?
No,
Like,
they're being paused. So here's the thing. We thought that the Ellisons had come in and stolen away Warner Brothers from Netflix and Ted Sanderos, who had a lock deal. They were going to buy it without all of the news networks because they didn't want to get in that business. They were going to buy it for $80 billion. Warner Brothers wanted this deal. Paramount was making all kinds of unsolicited offers. They did not seem serious. Warner Brothers did not want to do business with Paramount because, one, they're very litigious. Two, they were just kind of loose, right? But Paramount decides, well, we're going to take the offer to your shareholders and force a vote on this thing, and we're going to buy the whole thing, and we're going to pay $110 billion for it, and we will pay your $3 billion breakup fee with Netflix. So Warner Brothers board, although in writing they did not want to do this, they rejected these offers in the past. Now they had to take it because, again, they're just representatives of the shareholders, and Paramount was offering more money. Now, Paramount comes in and says, hey, we're very good with the current administration. They're just going to pass this thing through. We're so confident that we'll pass this, that they'll push this thing through, that on top of paying Netflix the breakup fee for you, if we can't close this deal, we will pay you $10 billion. And if it takes too long to close, after September of this year, we will pay you something like 15 cents a share or whatever, which works out to $7 million a day, which is every quarter they're going to have to pay like 600 and some odd million. I can't remember the actual number, but it's a lot of money. I got the numbers wrong, but it's many hundreds of millions of dollars they're going to have to pay every quarter, right? Now, even though the current administration forced it through because they want something going on, I don't want to get into the politics of it, but for whatever reason, they forced it through. David Ellison's father, Larry Ellison, is very good friends with the president, whatever. No politics, but we thought it was going to be smooth sailing. Then we find out that the Netflix CEO, Ted Sanderos, had been playing the Jim Ryan role, but in the background. He has been meeting with state senators and governors to say this deal's going to be bad. And now it turns out, I can't remember how many states, it's like 7 or 9 or 11 states that are suing to block the deal. And the Paramount threatened, well, we'll just leave California. Then it's like, where are you going to go? You're going to go to Georgia? Georgia said, nope, we don't like it either. It might not have been Georgia, but all the places they wanted to move wouldn't work. And if they did move out of California, you've greatly devalued the thing because, you know, these are staples that have been in California for 100 years, and moving operations out of there makes it more difficult and expensive to do work, whatever. But the states are now suing it, and there's now an injunction that says they cannot close the deal until June of 2027, which means every quarter they're going to have to spend upwards of 600 to 700 million just paying Warner Brothers for them not being able to close the deal. This is all happening while their credit rating has gone in the toilet as a company, and their stock has been basically rated as a junk stock. So basically, they're becoming less valuable. Oracle, who is owned by Larry Ellison, who is backstopping the deal with personal guarantees, the stock for Oracle has been going down for some other AI reasons. And we have to wonder if, with all the geopolitical war stuff and the Saudis being able to get clear on EA, the EA purchase deal, do the Saudis, who are putting in 40% of the money and get no voting rights, are they still going to want to put the money in? That's all what's playing out here with, I don't know if you guys were able to follow all of that. I'm sorry. I get excited about
No. Well, at least I was able to follow that. Like, it seemed like it was a done deal, but it's far from done. And what does the rest of the world have to do with a lot of this? Because it seems like a lot of this moving and shaking is happening all in the Americas because of obvious reasons.
Oh, that's
most
the Americas.
of these companies have huge ramifications outside America, no matter what America says about it.
The CMA and the EU are looking into it, and as far as the EU goes, they want some divestitures as well. So the deal is becoming very fraught and unappealing. That doesn't mean it won't go through. We saw how Activision and Microsoft went through when they really wanted it, but Paramount is not Microsoft. They don't have that kind of money. They don't have that kind of reach. They don't have that kind of lobbying power. They might in the US, but they're not like a global conglomerate. They're a global company, but they're not like the size of Microsoft. So I don't know. I think this is it. Now, what would be hilarious is if Paramount has to walk away and hence pay Warner Brothers the $10 billion just for wasting everybody's time. And then they're a very litigious company, so they'll probably try to get out of paying the $10 billion. And then Warner Brothers will have to sue them and be in a protracted legal battle. And then Netflix will probably swoop in after Warner Brothers stock hits the toilet because they had a bird in the hand and they threw it away for two in the bush. And they come in and buy it for the less than $80 billion that they wanted it in the first place. It would be poetic. And I don't think Netflix should be buying them either, but I'm just laughing at the whole thing.
Interesting. So all in all, it doesn't look like if we were going to be negatively affected by any of this, because I remember there was a time when all this started where everybody's like, oh, damn, this is going to manifest into terrible television for consumers. It looks like none of that's going to happen in the next, 10 years, because they're going to continue to be in this protracted legal battle one way or another for a long time. Am I wrong in this?
I think they're trying. The people around the world that are looking at it are trying to make it so unappealing that it doesn't make sense. So whether they can block it or not, the delays and the other things are the tactics they use. And again, we saw some of this with the Activision deal, but the problem with that is that they basically hinged the entire refute around the case around protecting Sony. And I think that's why it didn't work, because the easy fix was, all right, we'll just make sure we put the games on Sony, right? If that was your whole case, then it's in the toilet now. You can't do that here. So I don't know how they pull this out, and I don't know that they have the stomach to go through the legal battle that it's going to require to close this deal. And does the administration even still care about backing this post midterms? And I think that was really the reason to delay the deal, whether they could block it or not.
Yeah, so it might be too late after the midterms. I get it. Okay.
Paris and Lucius, did I put you to sleep? Huh? I put him to sleep.
Sounds like yes. Sounds like you did. Absolutely. Yes.
No. I was just listening the entire time.
I was on mute and I walked away, so I couldn't. No, I heard everything you said, and it all makes sense. And look, this was, again, trying to stay out of politics on this whole thing, but this was.
I tried my best.
The whole reason people were against Paramount getting them in the first place, and here we are. It's just going to get dragged out in court. There's going to be, and I think what you said about the midterms is pretty spot on. It will be interesting to see politically how much people care after November.
Yeah, and I will not stay out of it as much politically as you guys did. I think there's a part of the significant issue in the first place was the fact that these Ellisons are trying to create their own little media empire.
Yep,
and we've already seen how. The media has
CBS and Barry Weiss.
Yeah, we've seen how the media has kowtowed towards the administration and the significant changes that are happening at 60 Minutes. Large institutions are bending towards authoritarianism, advocating for literally trying to find an angle to be able to blame civilians for their own death, right? Like we saw that with the 60 Minutes situation. So outside of the business frameworks, which it doesn't really make any sense for for Paramount to be making this sort of offer when they, as an institution, they are buying an institution larger than them that makes more money than them with money that they don't have. But outside of all of that, you have the fact that, like, from a news standpoint, if you allow them to be able to have CNN on top of everything else that they have, where are, like, people already have issues trusting mainstream news, it will only get worse. And when everyone starts using like small news outlets as their source of truth, when all of our source of truth becomes significantly different and we're all living in a different world, that's a scary place to be in, right? And so that is one of many reasons why I wanted this thing to fail, and I'm glad that it doesn't look like it's going to be able to succeed.
Yeah, I think to that point, what you're getting at is when we get to a point as a society where you cannot trust any universal, where you don't have a universal source of truth that people can just agree on, then it allows you to doubt the things that you don't like, right? So now, even if someone is reporting the truth, I don't like them, I don't trust them, so I can just ignore it, or I can pretend something else. Isn't that
the fake news syndrome? Fake news, I don't like it.
No, but I think that's across the board, right? If you don't have one place where you say that right, because they're like, if we see what the funding is like on the PBS side. And again, I'm taking whatever side of politics you are. It is not good wherever you stand, if there's no sources of news that you can look at and that we can all say, okay, well, these guys are calling balls and strikes and I can make my decision based off that. If it's all slanted to one side or the other, then you can just write things off. And again, now truth is just somebody's perspective, and that's not a great thing.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying. All right, so let me catch up on one super chat, and then we'll bring it back to gaming. Judah Roars says, and I forget how to pronounce this gentleman's last name, Kevin Griviox as Kratos, and he asks if he's too old. The gentleman we're discussing here, if you recall, he used to be the one where I think most people will remember him is Underworld, the movie with Kate Beckinsale, where there are a bunch of werewolves and versus vampires. He was the king. He was the leader of the Lycans, African, but black gentleman. Looked very, very ominous in his portrayal of the werewolves. If that's the gentleman we recall. I don't know if he could do it. He does seem like he would be too old. If I'm not mistaken, he's in his 60s at this point, so he might not be able to do it. But yes, at the time he played that role. I think he probably could have done it. Yeah. Oh yeah. Here's a photo. Let me bring it up so people can understand what we are talking about here. This is the name. This is the gentleman we're talking about. At the time when he looked like this, he could have done it, I suspect. But now, I don't know. I don't know about now. Shout out to the great Jez Corden, who's both in the chat and also gifted 5 memberships. Shout out to great Jez Corden. Shout out to Jez Corden. Thank you, Jez. Appreciate you being here, man. So let us move swiftly along to more gaming conversations, and let's start with the back compat program for PC. What do we think? I know, Everborn, you wanted to discuss it, and there was some interesting information that came out about it after its release. Quickly, off the top, this is gaming. This is OG Xbox games coming to Xbox PC on this time, or compatible with PC machines, handhelds and the like. As you can see on your screen, the first 4 that came out was Blinks the Time Sweeper, Fusion Frenzy, Crimson Skies, and Conker's Live and Reloaded. I wish it was Conker's Fur Day,
I owned all of these games, but back then I don't have digital licenses, but they are available on Game Pass to get them. And just because I was excited about it, I ended up buying Blinks the Cat. Did not age well, but this is.
Oh, by the way, Jez Corden says he should be Kratos. I can see it.
I would support it.
The beard, I'm saying. Anyway,
does that mean Rand would be Atreus?
Oh man, that's hilarious.
I can picture it, man. But okay, so this is, and you'll get into the technical side of it with emulation versus translation. I think you can explain that better than me. But this is fascinating to me because if you are to me, this is the new frontier of play anywhere, right? This is truly, you buy a game once, you play it on your console, you play it on your PC, you play it on your handheld, and you don't think about it, right? And this is the beauty. This is why I say Steam has Play Anywhere before anybody, because when you buy a game on Steam, it'll work on basically anywhere that you have a Steam client, right? This is the beginning of This is the beginning of that. And if you've ever struggled through trying to deal with the Xbox PC store, you know that unless there's some kind of Game Pass deal involved or some weird random drop, you don't know what's what when you buy a game, if you will get the dual license or not, right? These are individual things that they have to work out. And we know a lot of games just don't come to the Xbox PC store. And we also know that way more games come to the console. So I'm not looking at just, OG Xbox and backwards compatibility. That's great. I think this expands to Series S and X games that will, the technical side of it might be different, but the idea is that if a developer makes a game for an Xbox console, it will also be playable on PC. And so it just becomes you buy the game and you can play it. You can play your console version at some point, not today, not right now, but at some point you'll buy GTA 5 on, I'm not saying this holiday, I'm saying in the future. At some point, your copy of GTA 6 for console on Xbox will just work on PC.
Well, so
that's a future that I'm hoping for with this, and I see a possibility for.
To that point specifically that point, I don't foresee that ever happening. Not because it's not possible, but because 2K
you're thinking like licensing.
Take-Two will say no thanks, and Microsoft will listen. Like to this moment right now, go try and record footage of what do you call it, Max Payne 3 on your Xbox console. Can't do it. Why? Because Take-Two said no, and the Xbox and the console vendor said okay. So to this moment, you still can't do that. So is it possible from a technical perspective? Of course it is. Will they let it happen? Who knows? That is very dubious. I don't know.
I think the upside is a little higher for publishers than the other way around. Like actually asking for a dual license when I could sell you something on PC versus saying, hey, I'm expanding the audience of who can play this game and buy microtransactions and do all those things to literally hundreds of billions of more people.
Yeah.
I think that's a more compelling thing than trying to, maybe it's not more compelling, but it is a different conversation than just saying, give me dual entitlements.
Yeah. So when we were having this conversation initially, and we heard some of the background information come out, I texted you that, hey, I was wrong in my estimation of how they were going to pull this off. Like they've always used,
and I was like, oh my God, he admitted it, and then I didn't know what you were wrong about, so I didn't get to enjoy you being wrong. But you can explain now.
They've been using virtual hardware to do a lot of their console work up until now, right? So they have 3 operating systems in the console, the main hypervisor layer, and then they have the emulated layers, which is the 360 world and the OG Xbox, right? So depending on the game you play, and even the current consoles as well, the current Xbox One and the Series consoles, they're all different virtual instances that pop up when you need the game to be played, right? So when all of this happened, my initial thought was, you already have the hard work done. You've already laid the ground and the foundation. You virtualized your hardware stack. So you can bring that hardware stack that's been virtualized anywhere you want. Because even in Windows, you have to turn it on. It's a feature that's by default disabled. but you can run hypervisors in Windows. You can like turn it on and then borrow, host, and slave. That's how they call it, right? The host being the computer you're running it, and the guest being the virtual hardware underneath it. Stop it. the
You know, it's funny, just real quick. Like I do a lot of DevOps orchestration at work.
Yeah.
And every time I'm setting up a new project, I'm like, do we have to call this the master branch?
The master and the slave. Yes.
Okay.
But needless to say, so my thought was always that since that hard work has already been done, they'll just translate that to Windows. They'll find a way of cleaning it up, making sure from a security perspective you can't break into it easily. And Bob's your uncle. You've already done the hard work. But it looks like they're actually using emulation rather than translation in this instance. They're actually using the stuff that end users do. So if you and your group of folks say, hey, we want to build an emulator, you basically build an emulation layer that fakes the funk and make it thinks that it's the console, and that's how the game gets to work, right? Xbox doesn't have to do that since they built the fundamental bones of it. But even they are using an emulator rather than a translator, which I thought was super interesting. So that's how they are doing it. They're emulating it like as if you went and downloaded Xenia. Obviously, they're not using Xenia, but they're using their version of an emulator to translate it to newer Windows devices, which super interesting. I didn't think that's how they would make it work, but I was wrong in that respect. Doesn't mean they couldn't take the hypervisor and place it on Windows. They definitely could, but they didn't, which is very surprising to me.
Well, here's what I think. Here's what I think they're using emulation for the 360 and previous stuff, and maybe they use the hypervisor when they start doing the series, the one in series games.
Yeah, and I agree with you on that, because the closer you get to modern hardware, the more that your resource overhead will matter. So emulation tends to have overhead itself, whereas translation has minimal overhead because it's built into the foundations of the operating system. So I see where you're going with that, where they could eventually move to translation as they get to the series and newer generations. Like all in all, this is pretty awesome. This is pretty cool. I'll let Lucius and Paris jump in on this as well. I think this like dovetails into our digital rights conversation that we've been having for the couple of weeks on this show now, because of all the whole physical media going away thing that people have now been galvanized around. Paris, I'll start with you. What do you think, good sir? Like, how do you feel about them making these moves?
I love how you're about to go to me and everyone's already interrupting.
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry, Paris. The one thing that I did forget to, I'm sorry. But this is the thing that I forgot to say because I was chewing. Anyway, the point is, I think now I lost my train of thought. You know what, Paris? Go ahead. You messed me up.
Damn. What are we doing?
You messed up my interruption.
Good.
Go ahead, Paris, before he interrupts again.
All I was going to say to this, I'm very excited for this as well. And this actually goes all the way back to GDC. I mean, Jason Ronald was hinting at this during his GDC keynote, that this is where they were to go. And there's obviously been a lot of rumors about it. This is a precursor to not only Project Helix, but to your point about digital. Let's not forget, we're about whatever project, whatever they're calling it, we're about to see what their disc to digital program is going to look like. And I think this is a part of it as well. So imagine you have your old Xbox disc, your old 360 disc, you're going to be able to convert them into a digital game. And then now it's play anywhere. And obviously that disc, it's still kind of your ownership license, because obviously if you put the disc in again, it'll reset the license on it. Now, there's a bigger discussion beyond this about digital ownership rights, how they're going to protect that, all that. I personally think government regulation is going to have to get involved into all of that to actually make it a reality. But the point of, we're now seeing backwards compatibility emulation happening for Xbox games, most likely 360 games coming to PC. Last we knew, Project Helix is probably some kind of PC hybrid, so this makes a lot of sense. It has the play anywhere aspect into it. Then if you still have your disc laying around, you potentially going to be able to convert them into a digital copy as well. Who wouldn't be excited about this? I am. I'm sure anyone that has legacy games that has a huge back catalog should be excited about this. To be able to bring these games, into modern platforms is going to be fantastic.
Lucius,
I
what are your
remember
thoughts,
now.
sir?
Before,
come
sorry,
on.
now
Okay,
I'm
go ahead. Jump in.
Wow.
Now you're cutting off
real
Lucius.
real quick. This is quick. Here is something that maybe maybe we were wrong on. Maybe I was. At least I know I was. We knew that this backwards compatibility on PC was coming, but we had, or I won't throw this evil on you, Ricky Bobby. I had thought they were going to tie backwards compatibility to the hardware of the Helix, and that's how they were going to get around licensing and saying, hey, it only works on this hardware, so it's just back compat. And I remember you saying they might do that, but if they do, it would be BS, because we know that if you got a 4090, you don't need it, right? You can emulate or translate or whatever you're doing. So, but this seems like, hey, if you got a PC, you'll be able to run those games. That's very interesting, and it broadens the audience. And I didn't know that they'd be able to do it from a licensing perspective.
Yeah. Well, we don't know that they'll be able to do it from a licensing perspective,
right? Because these are only their games.
Their games, yes. So, is it technically possible? Absolutely. We've been yelling that from the rooftop since the beginning of all this. But can it be feasible in the real way, where one day you'll get your third parties too? That still remains to be seen. Lucius, what are your thoughts, sir?
Lucius, is your Xbox Ally now on Xbox? Because they said it wasn't, because it's play console games.
Damn.
Like the moment that I listen, give me access to these games. Let me buy them. Let me put them on Game Pass. Put the 360 games on Game Pass. But the real success for me is if we get games like Midnight Club, Dub Edition, stuff like that. Like, I understand that those are incredibly hard because of the licensing, but if they can figure out stuff like that, like give the Transformers games, those are the things that I really want in my library. Don't get me wrong, this is a huge success, and it.
Hey, now remember, this is just 4 games. Come on now, you know how they do. This is just 4 games.
but this so far is a huge success. I think that us slowly but surely merging the two spaces of Xbox and PC to the point that it becomes like one entity will benefit the consumer. It'll help Xbox. It'll do all that stuff. But obviously, the weird place in between that we're in right now, where all the the Xbox PC app still needs a lot of work, that sort of stuff. I think that this is a success. I'm looking forward to more of this in the future, and I'm shooting. My goal is really high, getting like the Midnight Clubs, Dub Editions, the games that are incredible. Like, if you could get 50 Cent Blood in the Sand somehow back on digital, so that way people could buy it and then play it anywhere that they want, that would be incredible. So you're not going to get any hate from me about any of this. All I ask is that we get more of these, rather than it just sticks with these 4 only.
Yeah. So I want to broaden this discussion a little bit and add in the physical media aspects of it, and then I want to go back to Halo talk before we get out of here, and hopefully we can get some takes on that and we'll get the heck out of here. But once again, if you're liking the content, please hit the like button. Haven't said that enough today. Continue to hit that like button if you haven't done so. Let folks know we are here. We do this every single week. We appreciate those who jump on here and interact with us on a weekly basis. Thank you all so much. Also, consider joining our Discord, as we've also mentioned. A lot of fun that continues to be had on a weekly basis, on a daily basis rather. There, we always continue the conversation there after and before the show. Again, thanks to all the super chatters that have been super chatting today and continue to do so. There's one more that just jumped in here. Just so you know, we're heading to PAX West. All these donations help us defray those costs. So we really appreciate any donations you can choose to provide to us, and we thank you so much. So Pioneer with the $5 super chat, he says $100 Street Fighter 6 and $100 Mortal Kombat 1 on Steam, because I didn't see those games on Xbox PC day one. Interesting. So but see, in that scenario, would that require that WB and Capcom be okay with those games being playable.
No, he's
in
saying
that
they
way,
weren't
right?
in the PC store in general. They came out on Steam, but not the Xbox
Yeah.
PC store. Right? And he would
So
have rather.
this is how yeah.
Right. If he could, but it
Yeah.
was on console. And if he could buy it on console and then play that on PC, he would have done that.
I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying. But see, that would then assume that the publisher was not going to cover that spread for one reason or another, and this would cover that for them and still be able to earn them some dollars in so doing for the fans who are there. That is an interesting thought on it. Yeah, that may be how to your point, Everborn. That may be how you can position it to make it more of a benefit for the publisher rather than, hey, we're stopping you from being able to charge people more for the same thing. It is what it is. Yes, but okay.
Well, I just think that like the pitch here is, with this hardware crisis, things are getting so expensive that it is depressing hardware sales of everybody, Xbox, PlayStation, Nintendo. And so if you say, well, you've made this game and here's an opportunity to get it to more people in the same store that you already published to, I think in this market, maybe that's more compelling. Maybe.
Maybe, yeah. So, okay, before we get off this topic, so I found this news and I thought it was super interesting because in the backdrop of it, to me, still has us having the fight of physical media, where like we recently now hear rumor and speculation, and this is all just rumor and speculation, as it were. I know people are confirming it left and right, but I haven't really dug into it as well. So I continue to keep it in rumor speculation territory in my head, that Sony is putting put the kibosh on allowing folks to talk about how they feel about physical media and the like. A lot of information, a lot of hay rather has been made of that, right? Indicating that they may not in no way, shape, or form be heading back in that physical media direction. In addition to that, right, we saw recently that the PlayStation Network went down, and in so doing, you have all your digital media. You have a very hard time of getting access to some, if not all, of that media because it's all digital, right? And add to that, now we're having these conversations as well. Like, I guess my question here, and I suspect that this will bring different results.
Hey, don't worry about all of that. God of War's coming out in February.
Stop it. Stop it.
There's a Wolverine
I'll let
trailer.
you go, Everborn.
Please,
I'll let. We should have actually talked about
one
that
week before Fable, right? Like it was like, I'm pretty sure.
Yes, let's talk about that before. But Everborn, let me land this plane on this one. What do you think is necessary here in order, while we're heading in this full board digital direction, right? Xbox is reintroducing back compat on PC to try and continue keeping your games in your library alive. What needs to be added to gaming to ensure that as we move to this next generation, that people don't feel like they're behind the eight ball as far as their ownership, right? Like, I know that we throw the word regulations around left and right, but I know you have a different take on it. What do you think, in your estimation, how would we be able to shore up our confidence and ownership while we move to this all digital future?
This is a very simple fix. We all, and everybody in gaming hated this word, but this is actually the perfect application for the blockchain and NFTs, because that it's a public ledger that you can show that you own something. So instead of trying to sell us skins that aren't worth anything, why don't you sell us the game tied to a blockchain that can say you own this thing, and then it's just yours forever, irrespective of what happens with your account, irrespective of whether you have internet or not, that thing is yours. That's one thing in terms of ownership. The second thing is, it is very scary for anyone, right? Even if you're a Steam acolyte like myself these days, right? Even if you trust Xbox, right? Even if you are playing the lottery by keeping your credit card on Sony servers, right? The idea that all of your digital library is tied to whether your account is in good standing with them is a scary thing, because at this point, we've all got many, many thousands of dollars in these things. And if it's all like your ownership should be separated from your account, if that makes any sense, right? And this is why I'm saying this is where blockchain technology comes in, and you could use that to show to where even if you canceled my account for whatever reason, I could make a new one and still have access to my games.
Well, but here's the question though, right? Why would they, the company, do that without any pushback, without any pressure? Because then that means you can cancel your account via whatever reason they cancel your account or whatever, right? Then you get a new account and somehow you have all of your library back. When in this other scenario,
it's like yours, you bought it.
Well, I understand that, but let me finish. Like when in the other scenario, like Everborn Saga himself has done, left Windows, left Xbox, went to Steam's library, and many of those games already owning on Xbox made them buy it all over again there as well, right? Because what you're describing here would stop that from being the case. Wherever you go, your ownership will go with you. Why would any company, without being pressured to do so, do that?
Well, hold on. Let's be clear. Those are two different things, right? One thing is you still own your stuff. Another thing is saying I own this, but I'm going to be able to access it in a new ecosystem. And I don't think that
you mean
that's
in the
not
same
what I'm advocating for.
Okay, in the same ecosystem. Okay.
Now, and again, I'm very I want to answer your question directly because I know where you were going. I am anti-regulation wherever possible, right? I'm not what are these people? These anarcho-capitalists or these libertarian dudes, right? I believe you need to there's a role for government, right? I just don't, after seeing how the Activision case went and seeing the lack of understanding around gaming, I don't know that they can write rules that are going to benefit us that actually make sense. However, I think digital ownership is a universal thing because it goes across film and it goes across music and it goes across games. So this is an area, if we're limiting what the regulation would be, I'm in favor of regulation around digital ownership. So
okay, so same question to you, Mr. Lilly, and I like the avatar. What in your mind is necessary to shore up people's confidence of digital rights as we move towards the digital only future?
It's what I just said earlier. I mean, if you're going to rely on the companies to self-police, not going to happen. It's going to have to be government regulation. As dirty as a word as that might be, that's the only way you're going to ensure that your digital license, you keep ownership of it, that you are going to continue to have access to it. And nothing else, there's no guarantee. I think someone even said it in the chat at one point, you have ownership until you don't. So there has to be some kind of guardrail in place to ensure that you keep that. I mean, look, I don't want to be a hypocrite. I have pretty much been all digital since about 2014. I think I own one physical disc right now, and that's it as far as gaming goes. So
the only disc I own right now is the Matrix trilogy, and that's movies, games, anything. I don't nothing. All digital.
Yeah. I mean, I still have some Blu-rays and things, but the point I'm just trying to make on it is I've already, consciously moved myself to digital for the convenience and obviously just everything that goes with it. Statistically, we know that the overwhelming majority is digital at this point. But at the same time, you always knew that there were physical discs there, almost as you're taking that option away. So I think people are very justified to being upset about this right now, even if they are going all digital, because at least you knew at any point, hey, if I just want to go buy the disc and make sure I own this game, I have it. Now we're getting to a point where you can't say that. So this is what I'm saying. There's going to have to be some kind of government regulation that's going to come in to ensure, because we just saw Sony take away 500 movies. Whether you were watching them, cared about them or not, the fact that they were able to do that, if you think they can't do that in the gaming, you're fooling yourself.
Paris, I just pictured them pulling the movies away while people were watching them, like it just stopped.
Yeah.
But
and
really
by the
quick,
way,
I think this is an important question. What Judah Roy says, what about the ESA not strong enough? The ESA is not there for us. They're not for us. They are
no.
It's like going to HR at work.
Yes,
exactly.
That's what they are.
Right?
Yes,
they're there to represent the publishers. They're a lobbying arm for the publishers, right? When has a lobbyist ever been in favor of the actual people and not the whatever corporations or billionaires are paying them to be there, right? Don't put your faith in the ESA. They're not for us.
I will also say one thing, Paris. One thing you just said there. Like, I actually would push back on the idea of, oh, we had the disc and now that's changing. That disc misnomer has, in my eye, been our problem from jump, because they let you think you had ownership by putting on a disc. That disc has been useless for years, like years and years and years. That disc has been useless. The only one that can actually claim that they had useful physical media up until recently even is Nintendo, right? Your discs are only as useful as that server allows it to be. The moment that the servers no longer are active because the company has decided to move on, that disc is now a frisbee. Your digital ownership or your physical ownership was tied to owning of the content, not the licensing, from jump. And because we focused so much on that disc, we allowed that to come and go and float away. And we were all clapping while it was floating away. And now you still have that disc, but that's just a hex key authenticating to a server that they can turn off whenever they want.
No, and I agree with you on that part, and that is an important, because like I think what is it, Doom the Dark Ages is a great example of this, where there's literally nothing on the disc. You're downloading the entire game.
Exactly.
I guess even in the sense of, at least you have the disc so that if the quote unquote servers were to go away, and this is what I'm saying again, there got to be some kind of government regulation to come in. At least you having that disc, you physically own your license key in that sense. You got it in your hand to where it probably is still going to have to go do some online verification check to say, yep, and then you can go play it. But at least you have the full game downloaded onto your console, and that disc just needs to do a simple internet check-in, and you don't have to re-download the whole thing again. Look, all of it's a mess. Don't get me wrong.
It is.
But I think what Sony coming out saying what they said a few weeks ago opened a lot of people's eyes. And honestly, it opened my eyes too. I'm like, wait a minute. Couple that with them taking away movies made me go, wait, this is not good. And let's be fair here now.
Yep.
Xbox ain't saying nothing for a reason, because guess what? They're gonna.
Oh, they're just as bad. They're just as bad. Absolutely. If you go to your brick and mortar right now, you go to your Best Buy for a long time now. The Best Buy, your Walmart, wherever you happen to go, your Xbox section has been depreciated considerably. They barely have any green discs there. It's been blue and yellow, and Nintendo and PlayStation been represented in a physical way for a long time.
And that's more the
wait a minute though. To that end though, I think we also have to look at the reason people are upset, because there's a lot of people who don't have any physical games that are still mad about this, right?
Yeah.
It is, as you said, Paris, they're doing this coupled with the fact that they just removed 500 movies for whatever reason. It doesn't matter to me if I bought it, right? I don't care if you have a license.
I paid for that 15-day check on games.
Yeah. Right. That's the next thing. You couple that with now they're doing a check-in, and for now they're telling you, oh, this is only a one-time check. That was a test run, people, right? That if you think that it's only ever going to be a one-time check after you can only always get digital from them,
nothing
I have
else,
a bridge to sell you, right?
Exactly.
So it's all that, and they're not coupling this with, hey, here is some sweets with the medicine, right? There's no Vaseline here, folks.
Stop it.
So listen, you're about to have a rough weekend. But what I'm saying is, at least on the Xbox side, yes, you are right. They're doing the same thing. They're shutting up. They're pulling a Sony move. Let them take all the arrows, and you doing the same thing. The difference, though, is they're coming in with you with, hey, we're going to digital, but here's this potential disc to digital program. Here's how you can get your old games and play them here, because that's really the complaint, right? So Sony must come with some consumer-facing, consumer-forward features that will ease Right. It makes the pill easier to swallow. And they didn't do that. They just said, F you, it is what it is. And that's that's probably half of the outrage.
So I will say this, and we can move on, and we'll get back to our last topic before we get out of here, which is, if you know it, then you should champion it, which is GOG. It is the only place to buy games these days, because that's the only place you actually own the thing. And I mean, and I know
you're licensing games every place else. GOG is where you buy
everywhere else. Exactly. Every other store just gives you a license, either a digital license in the form of a hex key to your disc, or you have a piece of the game on your drive, and you can get the rest via authentication and all that. GOG gives you both the game, and it lets you have the installer, the old school, back in the day, Paris, all of us, I think, on this stage, you remember these days when you could actually go and buy a physical computer game, and it had installers. So if you would ever move on to another medium, you could take those installers with you and then place them there and install it there as well. Yeah, GOG gives you that. The only place that still does. So and I feel like once you understand the GOG system, it shows you how unfair everywhere else is. Until that is the paradigm that everyone else offers you as well, GOG is the only place you should be buying your games, if you can do so in PC and all of that. So do a bit more research. I feel like more people should have their hair on fire about this as the boat of digital rights leaves us, and we're all just watching it like fade in the distance. You know what I'm saying? I hope we all educate ourselves and get better at this stuff. But I think that's that. All right. Anything else anybody else wants to say in this respect before we move on?
Just shout out to Morty, where he says hashtag no GOG, no buy.
There you go. Mr. Pete, two opinion with $2 super chat, and he says, you down with GOG? Yeah, let him know. Let him cook.
No. Yeah. No. It's like you down with OPP. You down with GOG. Yeah, you know me.
I get it. I get what he's doing.
You gotta quote it. You gotta quote it right, man. You gotta quote it proper.
Forgive me. Anyway, let's get to our last conversation here, and then we'll get the heck out of here because we are running long. Which is, I remember, Mr. Everborn Saga, we had this conversation both in Discord and here on Front Street here on the podcast, which is to say that there was a lot of consternation about what was happening with a lot of Microsoft studios, right? A lot of Xbox studios in general. And in that conversation, it was about, hey, let's and I think you said this, and I really agreed with it at the time. Let's see what the end product is before we decide that, you know, what's being said in these streets are righteous or worth picking up pitchforks or over or whatever, right? And that was with respect specifically to Halo Campaign Evolved. A lot of news has come out about Halo Campaign Evolved. We're seeing all the break in the people who think it's great versus people who don't think it's not as great and all of that. But with that is also the backdrop that of information that's been coming out via, I think the gentleman's name is what is the gentleman's name? It's Rebs Gaming. Rebs Gaming. Yes. And shout out to Idle Sloth, who always does the yeoman's work. He has done so this time as well. I'll link to the chat that he posted, which is kind of giving us a TLDR of what is the latest reports have come to be, which I'll read quickly. Says
Jez also did a report on this.
As Jez did too. Yes, I did read Jez's corroborating in certain respects as well. Yeah, absolutely. So I'm just reading this because it's convenient and has all the points there. We can get into it. He says Pierre was responsible for pushing Ecker, which is the new project, through being approved, second guessing the vision of the project, delaying the deployment by consistently giving deployment teams new priorities, initially ignoring the market research feedback that proved that it was the wrong direction, canceling Occur because Campaign Evolved needed to be saved. The market research could not be ignored anymore. Right. So, in other words, and the last part here, I'm told that Pierre Heinz chose to act as a creative lead and head of production alongside his actual role as head of studios because he became too involved with the development while constantly changing directives, which caused the development to become a mess and fell way behind schedule. There's a lot more. It sounds like he from the reading of this, it sounds like he was the Suge Knight of the situation. What Suge Knight was causing was calling the others, if you recall.
Listen,
we'll leave that alone.
We need to understand who this is coming from. This like Rad's gaming guy, Reps gaming guy. Like, correct me if I'm wrong, but this guy never has anything positive to say about Halo Studios or any other projects or any of that, right? This is the same guy who took
one thing, Lucius.
This is the same guy who took everything that Glenn Israel said by like word for word and then just reported that entire thing, despite there being a lot of interesting facts about that case that didn't turn out.
So are you saying that because he has a lot of negative news that his news should not be listened to?
No, I'm saying that this person has in the past pushed for campaigns to get Pierre and a bunch of other people fired. I don't know if you can call yourself a journalist, reporter, somebody who's like trying to be, just presenting the news if previously you tried to get a bunch of people fired from the studio.
So what you're saying is you've seen him on some agendas, and because of that, you feel like this is just more of that.
And I'm not saying that any of this isn't true. I'm saying that somebody like that has an incentive structure to be to report these things as much as possible because they want to believe that it is true, and they don't do any additional research to be able to see if they can get other perspectives, right? And so whenever they get a perspective that is negative, they are going to do everything that they possibly can to be able to push that forward. Maybe I'm bugging, but that is my perception of the situation.
Everbone, what do you think, sir?
I would actually like Paris to go first, and then I will go at the end.
Please. All right, Paris.
If that's okay with
I hope
Paris.
I'm not throwing you. I hope I'm not throwing you in the deep end. I don't want you to comment on ridiculous rumor and speculation. If you feel so,
I want to comment on this one.
Please.
I will just simply say, I actually said this in the chat way earlier. Don't take rumors as fact.
But Paris, it's a negative Xbox rumor. We have to take it as fact.
Let's just put it this way. Lucius isn't that far off from what he's talking about. Let's just say I know certain people that aren't big fans of Rebs because clearly he has had or might still have somebody's running their mouth internally, and they're running with partial information. Let's just put it that way. I will just say this on a personal note. I've met Pierre. Great dude. Great dude. He's great to me.
Great dude.
Great to me.
Yes.
And I will say this. Very passionate about Halo. If you start talking to that dude about Halo, he will dive into the weeds about Halo. So I will also say, again, I don't know what's true, what's not true, or whatever, because I don't work there. But I'll say this. With Xbox, quote unquote, resetting, he still seems to be in charge of Halo Studios. So obviously somebody above his pay grade didn't see a need to remove him from leadership at that studio. And I will also say, let's just wait until December, please, for the Halo Championship before running wild with rumors that it's all doom and gloom, everything's chaos, they don't have anything ready to go. December will answer all those questions. For better or worse, you'll know. If we get to December in those Halo Championships and they're not talking about what's next for Halo, then take Rebs at face value. But if they got something to show and or play, then this is not 100% true. Now, I'm not saying that Rebs doesn't have information, but clearly he does. He has been right on a lot of things, but he's also been wrong on some things too. I would say, let's wait. And the reason I'm saying all that is we have seen now here over the past weeks and months, a lot of freaking rumors not coming to fruition. A lot of people will take a rumor because they heard a whisper about this or that, and then the sky's falling and everything's doom and gloom. Look, Xbox right now, not great. A lot of people I know, personal friends, have gotten laid off this year and last year. So it's not a great time, but it's also not as catastrophic as people would have made you think it was just a month ago. That's all I'm saying when it comes to that. I think we run with rumors way too much. in this scenario.
Wait, you mean to tell me Senua and State of Decay 3 are not canceled?
Blade's not canceled either.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Hey, Obsidian didn't close. Matter of fact, they're making a Fallout game. Last I heard.
Look at that. Would you look
Indeed.
at that? Also,
Indeed.
shout out to
Indeed.
PG Fight School. I see you in the chat, sir. All right, listen.
Shout out.
Paris, are you good? Can I jump in, or you wanted to add anything else?
No, I mean I'm pretty much done. I didn't get to talk about when y'all talked about Halo previously, other than to say 9 out of 10 for me for what it was.
Okay.
Sure. I wish there would have been multiplayer, but I mean, if you judge Campaign Evolved for what it is, I absolutely loved it. Those bonus missions gives me a lot of hope for the future of Halo.
Yeah. See, but actually, that's why I wanted to thread that, right? Because Everborn, and you can chime in on this. We had this conversation back and forth a lot, and a lot of people say, well, you can only judge the product, the production studio, and the management and all that stuff. You can only judge it by the end product. So if the product is good, that means people need to shut their mouth. If the product is discombobulated mess, then hey, maybe they were on to something. The product is out now, and I feel like they picked up the goalpost and they moved it 5 feet that way and went, oh, but still. And the product is good. Do you disagree? Yeah. I think the product is damn good.
Here's the thing, right? And this comes back to my issue with the original reporting on this. The way it was framed was, if campaign, yes, the proof is in the pudding. But if Campaign Evolved is good, it's not because of.
It's in spite of the leadership.
It's in spite of,
if it's
right?
bad, it's because of the leadership.
It's his fault, right? You see how that doesn't like this is the problem, right? If you are going to, like, when Jez looked into this, his reporting says he can confirm some of it, but some other people also came through to speak on behalf of the man, right? And so this is what is missing from, I think, the Rebs report. And again, I'm not saying he didn't hear any of this. I'm not saying he's making any of this up, but it lacks any sort of perspective outside of the one narrative that I think the Glenn Israel person is trying to push forward. And again, a lot of the times with these things, it is an issue of perspective, right? So when you hear the quote, someone was told, get the F out of the studio, you know where that comes from? It is when, because there's another quote that's separate from this. When he took over and he took the reins, he said to everybody, because he is no nonsense, he said, if you don't love Halo, get the F out of the studio. Is it not possible that when the studio is going through upheaval, they get rid of the old guard who Pierre Heinz is not responsible for all the old issues that you have with Halo. He just got the reins. This is his first project as the head of that studio. Yes, he helped because I know you talked to him and he said, don't give me all the credit for Master Chief Collection. He helped get that into shape. This is the first thing with his name on it. And again, to say that there's no direction given, it is a huge direction to say we're going to move away from the slip space engine. We're going to make a project that helps us get our sea legs. And in that, there was a lot of people who didn't agree with that. So is it not possible that there are people that had one vision for where they wanted to go, Halo to go, and Pierre has another vision? And guess what? Yep. Pierre's the guy in the top seat, so it's going to be him to make the decision. And if you don't like that, then hey, it doesn't work. And we don't know. I'm not even saying what I'm saying is the fact. I'm saying you don't know, so all you can judge is the product. And don't give me, if the product is good, it's because of the workers and not the management. But if the product is bad, it's definitely because of the management, because that sets up where the person talking to you can do no wrong. So what I'm afraid of is that, and again, this is a time where they laid off a bunch of people. Like, fired people don't have good things to say about their ex-employees. So, and again, rightfully so on their part. But if you're being a responsible journalist, do you just go with that one view? And again, we don't know. It is a matter of perspective. And from the people that Rebs talk to, from their perspective, since they're the people that got let go, maybe that is what they experienced. But from other people's perspective, they might have a different view. And again, this is another thing. Let us not pretend that before Pierre Heinz took over that they was doing everything right over at 343, right? They literally had to change the name of the studio. So if you've been there all this time, why did Halo 5 and Infinite have all those problems? It wasn't because of Pierre, but you think they should do what you say, right? And again, all I'm introducing is some semblance of doubt, which says if you can't be sure because we weren't there, all we can look at is the product. And I'm sorry.
Let me jump in and say this. As far as the rumor goes, we're talking about the rumor and what was it, Project, whatever the heck it's called. But
Tatanka.
if you go, no, it's something big. Yeah, that one. But let's just go by this rumor as an example. If true, and Pierre was way more hands-on, which honestly wouldn't surprise me, and they realized during development they were making some kind of battle royale, because I'll tell you this, on XCast, if you go back probably 4 years, we were in favor of them doing a battle royale. But guess what? In 2026, nah, I don't think so. So maybe they realized, let's stop doing this because it's not going to be what the current market wants. Let's pivot to something that they do want. I would rather them do that to continue to beat their head against a wall and deliver something that I'm not going to play.
Or maybe they should put another extraction shooter that ends up like Concord. Who knows?
But that's my point. That's my point. If you're making in a genre
that
isn't going to have mass appeal, why keep making it? Stop. Make something that people want. See, that's the thing. It's a damned if you do, damned if you don't scenario. If you go by this rumor, okay, they do launch it. Then it comes out. Now you're going to trash it for not being something I wanted. Would you rather them look? They should just make a classic Halo multiplayer personally.
So the rumor that they were saying, which and I'm not saying I believe it at all. It's basically that Pierre greenlit it even when the market research said it was a bad idea. And then later on, he canceled it afterwards.
But don't these studios get shit all the time for just looking at market research?
Yeah.
But see, this is what I want to say at this point again. This is I detest leaks. I detest leaks and rumors. People get mad at me about that too. And this is one of the reasons why we're not supposed to even know about any of this. You're judging something that you ain't even supposed to know about. How many things get canceled? They get all the time that we have no clue about. But because this leaks, now you're going to judge it for something that was never supposed to see the light of day. You see what I'm saying? So this is why I say again, we should wait until December, because that is going to be the time when they talk about the future of Halo. I think they delivered a very quality product right now. Let's celebrate that. And then when December comes, if they standing around looking crazy, ain't got nothing to show, judge them accordingly. But if they got something to show and they got something to talk about, be happy for that. I want Halo to succeed.
Listen,
I am a Halo fan. You know what I'm saying? So I don't want to hear about doom and gloom when you don't even know if it's true. You have no idea.
Right. Like if we get to December and somebody's wearing another goddamn PlayStation shirt, then we could be on people's necks. No, okay, but here's the thing. This is the last thing I want to say on this. I was actually serious about that, but let me. No,
I know you are. That's ridiculous. Continue.
All right. Paris, does this not reek of the same kind of smear campaign they tried to do to Sarah Bond after the whole?
We don't have enough time in the day to go on that one.
Because it's all the black guys' fault now. But whatever.
Hold on a second though. I was very happy that Mike Brown, who used to be at Playground, he was the lead on Forza Horizon 5, created Maverick Studios, and
he came out and spoke in favor
defended
of
her. Because I've gotten to know him a little bit over the years. He's a great guy.
Yeah.
I was very happy to see that, because he's not the only one that thinks that. It's interesting what they
no
allow
one was
to be
defending her.
Yeah.
So, and this is my thing. People just run with these things, and it's like, don't you want any perspective? Don't you want any other view so that you can weigh a different perspective against the report that you have now. And it just seems like there's none of that. So, okay, like that's it. Everything that's wrong, that's ever been wrong with Halo is now Pierre's fault. Everything that was wrong with Xbox is Sarah's fault.
Yeah.
It's weird.
Lucius,
maybe that's a conversation for another day.
You've been quiet. I will let you have the last word on this one. What do you think about this whole thing? Halo has now dropped. I know you are still playing, getting really into it as the rest of folks are as well. You're going to get into it when it drops for the masses. By and large, it is a good to great product. What do we think about all these rumors of this whole backstage ridiculousness going on here?
Well, correct me if I'm wrong, but Echor is the extraction shooter that apparently they were working on. Is that
yes? Supposedly, if these rumors are to be believed, Tatanka turned into Echor.
Okay. Well,
when they transitioned from Slipspace, which was within what do you call it, certain affinity, and when they transitioned that to Unreal Engine 5, then it was going to be Echor.
Yeah.
And supposedly Echor was that extraction.
I'm not going to get mad at things getting canceled that they never announced, that were things that were in the background. The thing that did release, Halo Combat Evolved, and by the looks of it, and by the sounds of it, if you're a Halo fan, you're going to love it. And the question really is, does Unreal Engine 5 give them the path necessary for them to release Halo 2 and 3 in relatively quick succession? And that is not counting the mainline Halo that we all know that they're working on, right? If doing all of this helps them get into a pipeline that allows them to be able to pump out games faster, I'm all for it, right? And it seems like Combat Evolved, Campaign Evolved only took about 2 to 3 years to come out, which means that we could see Halo 2 and Halo 3 remake out within the next 6 years, which is great. Now, obviously, Everborn has his issues of wanting to see a new Halo game with all the mechanics and interactivity and verticality that Infinite had. But I think that it's going to take a little longer for that to come out, as it's going to be, a new product they have to figure out the story, everything else. But
Lucius,
now, I think that we're in a good place as Halo fans.
Lucius, to that point, something that I didn't vocalize earlier is that we know they've basically thrown Unreal on top of the old Blam engine that powered Halo before. Are they going to be able to do that and have the overhead to put that on top of Slipspace?
No,
to be able to get all of those. So this is why I fear that all of that Halo stuff that we love from Infinite could go away. And I will be on their next.
They will just have to rebuild a lot of the things inside of Unreal. The question is that, like, I don't know if Slipspace is a small of enough engine that you can put Unreal on top of it.
It's not. If it was, they would have been able to get out content faster for the
and just so you know, Slipspace itself is a
modified Blam
derivative. Yeah, it's a derivative Blam engine itself, right?
Yeah.
So the Blam engine and all that only matters when you're talking about the older game. Moving on with the newer stuff, they're gonna have to build from the ground up.
But how long would that take? They're not doing that.
Well, that's what I'm saying. That's the reason why they're giving you part 2 and part 3.
Yeah, but I don't want to wait till 2030 for the next Halo game. This is the point.
But you're gonna have to wait until 2030 no matter what, because it's going to take them a long time to build all the things necessary in comparison to Halo 2 and 3. Halo 2 and 3, they already have all the code for it. They just need to make it pretty. They need to change a couple things here or there. That can be released within 2 to 3 years, and that can make money for them in comparison to it's going to
keep you happy in the short term while you're waiting for the big game.
Yeah, I think here's how I see it.
It ain't coming back.
I think you get Halo 2 remake Then you get the new game, and the new game has multiplayer in some capacity, like split up, so that way they don't hurt each other. And then Halo 3 remake comes after that. That's how I see it going, just based off of how long it took them to do the first game, and obviously they're still in production for the new one. We'll see. But just in this Asha era, you need to be bringing in money. You can't just be sitting here doing whatever, iterating forever. You need to be doing something that's bringing in money to be able to make sure that your
path of least resistance is we don't get the infinite gameplay back. And I feel like that's the path they own.
We'll get the gameplay back. We just won't get like an infinite remake, right? Like it'll like
I don't need an infinite remake. I don't want that gameplay to go away.
Yeah,
and I actually think I think my closest comparison for Infinite is Halo 3, and I think a lot of what's in Halo 3 could work with less modifications than you would need to add in Halo 2 or 1.
Well, here's what I'll say, Everborn. If you want these things done, you need to show up. You show up to the next Summer Games Fest, and when we inevitably have an opportunity.
Don't do that. Don't try to use it. No, listen, I bought their game, even though it was a Game Pass. I showed up.
For a particular need, right? And you want to let it be known. You will literally meet the leadership, and you can let them know, hey, I really like the gameplay of Halo Infinite. Whatever you guys
Pierre's hands, talk to the band. That's right.
I really want the verticality.
Let me pop on this one. Let me pop in. Let me pop in on this, Lucius. Let me pop in on Lucius. Lucius is 1,000% correct, sir, because you flap your lips a lot and you don't never be with boots on the ground. So, you know what I mean? You got so much to say, but you ain't never saying it in nobody's face. That's all I got to say.
I'm sending my business partner, Kay Asante, there to speak on my behalf.
No. There ain't no representative. You need to be there.
Boot on neck. You need to be there, my boy. You heard this.
Matter of fact, though, speaking like all the Infinite talk and all this, and like you're saying the gameplay, honestly, I would not hold my breath. It would not surprise me if they don't pull a coalition and go, yeah, Gear 6, what is that? We don't know what that is. We going back to the past. Because let me tell you something they can do.
I'm talking about.
Because let me tell you something they could do with the Halo 2 remake, which I think can set up a lot of other stuff. Remember, if you played it on Legendary, and I'm talking Combat Evolved, I'm not spoiling anything from Campaign Evolved, but you played Combat Evolved on Legendary, the ending, Sergeant Johnson, hold me, baby, the whole thing. And then you get to Halo 2, someone's asking him, hey, how did you get back to Earth? And he says, it's classified. That's a whole game right there. How did Sergeant Johnson get back to Earth? Him and Chief on more adventures. I'm just saying. So don't be surprised if whatever the next Halo is, look, we're going to run it back. We bringing the band back together. Cortana, Sergeant Johnson, like they bringing the old school people back, and you tell some stuff in between games or some things that we never got to see previously in Halo, very similar to what they're doing right now with Gears E-Day.
So, Paris, what you're saying, what Everborn is hearing is they scrapped the grapple shot. Oh, no.
Yeah.
No. Here's the thing, Paris. If they could bring back the infinite gameplay and just retcon that some of that equipment existed back then and they just designed around it, nobody would care. Like, you're going to have some purists complain about it.
They just did that with Campaign Evolved.
No, I know. So, that's why they can absolutely do it. Like, the enemy AI is the enemy AI from Infinite, right? It's just there's no clambering, there's no grapple shot. The way the equipment works is different, all those things. But I'm saying this, and again, this is not even me coming at Campaign Evolved. It is what it's supposed to be. It knows what it wants to be. This is just me retroactively, even though I did it at the time, giving Infinite gameplay its flowers, because it might have had issues with the story. It might have had issues with the long-term pipeline for multiplayer. The gameplay was not the problem in Infinite. It was goated. So
you get no
I don't want to lose that is all I'm saying. And so I just wonder. Go ahead.
No. I was going to say, I just wouldn't be surprised if they don't move forward with that Infinite story and instead we're like, let's go back into our legacy back catalog. Because remember, there's a ton of books. There's all kind of things they can lean on to tell a Halo story that has Master Chief, Cortana, Sergeant Johnson, Captain Keys, Miranda Keys. Like they could bring the whole band back together and again hit that nostalgia bait that the legacy fans want and introduce these characters to a new generation. And you don't get the grapple hook. Sorry.
But
you get dual wielding, you get everything else.
But this is the thing. I think, listen, when you look at a remake like Final Fantasy, whatever remake, or Resident Evil remake, you could design a whole new thing and just say, hey, we're reimagining it with all. Listen, E-Day goes back, and now these guys have more equipment and more things than they ever had in all previous 5 years.
I agree.
So you can do that stuff and just put it in there. And listen, so what? He got a prototype of the grapple hook that is going to be made into production later on in the infinite years. But I do agree. Tell us what happens in between the story and give us this gameplay so that we can evolve from that peak gameplay. That's what I'm saying.
And let me throw one other nugget at you. Let me throw one other nugget at you too. Like I said, you could tell the classified Sergeant Johnson getting back to Earth stories. Let's not forget, there's another character in that Halo universe that I would love to see
Oni,
more of.
That character from Oni.
No. The Arbiter. Let's get more from the Covenant perspective. You can do that too. I'm just saying, there's a lot of. Whoa! You're not about to slander the Arbiter. I know you're not about to do that.
Listen, I love I'm a Keith David stan, but they are. I am an alien racist, right? I've never trusted them. I don't want to play as Covenant. I don't care if you're on my side. Nope. I'm all about humankind. I didn't like it in Halo 2, and I'm glad they never made you do it again.
This man said, "Get that split face out of here."
Exactly.
Wow.
Damn.
Like a damn dragon in armor.
The Everborn racist saga. We've heard it first. There we go. Lord help us. Anyway.
Interplanetary aliens. I just want to be clear. Interplanetary aliens I'm talking about.
I love the chat with the deep cut. Captain Anderson don't play. That's right. Keith Devin, boy. He's amazing.
That's right.
That's massive.
He is, indeed. All right. So I think we'll leave it there. Before we go, once again, thank y'all so much for checking out all the content over the last couple of days. If you haven't done so already,
hold on. Sorry. I just gotta highlight Lord Neg. Shout out to Lord Negatron. He said we know who not to send as an ambassador when we make contact.
Definitely when we make contact. Definitely not Everborn racist saga. Jesus, what are we doing right now? Anyway. If you haven't checked out the content, please go ahead and check out the companion review we did for obviously the great game that is Campaign Evolved. There's a lot of time and effort, a lot of ink was spilled on this review, so come and check out the review. In addition to the ink that was spilled for the review, we also did a whole bunch on the actual review, the video review itself, which is also online right now. Please go ahead and check it out. We spent a lot of time putting that out there. If you can tell, we spent the entire day, basically most of the show, talking about Halo because we are big fans of Halo here. So
it was warranted.
Some good parts. Yes, absolutely warranted.
And Soil Tech says ever space racist saga. I like it.
There you go. Space racist saga. That's what he is. He's the space racist. There you go. As you can tell, we here love Halo. So we spent time doing it, giving it the deference it deserves. Stuff we like, stuff we didn't like. Check out the review. Let folks know that we put the reviews out there. And once again, I'll thank Xbox for providing that. I will tell you, like, as a dude who's like, that was one of my first IPs that I loved when I was playing this thing. I never thought that I'd get to a place where they'd give me a copy to review for myself. I felt very honored. It was very cool. So thank you all so much for checking it out. Mr. Paris Lilly, sir, appreciate you for joining us as you do. As we've already told you, we unfortunately will not be able to make it to Gamescom this year, which people keep slandering us for. But we are going to PAX West. Are you going to be at PAX West, sir?
I will not be at PAX West.
Man.
I actually got some work commitments. I'm not going to be able to go.
Okay.
But Not to mention, it's insanity trying to do Gamescom impacts back to back. I don't recommend that for anybody.
It's impossible.
But you're gonna be missing out on some stuff at Gamescom. I'm just letting you know right now.
Man.
I got some appointments that yeah.
Okay, well, I'm gonna have to like talk to you in the background and get jealous on that real quick. But yes, thank you so much for lending your voice to the show as you do. We appreciate you, sir. Let people know where else we'll be keeping on with your ongoings this week, sir.
Yeah, I mean, obviously Gaming Tag Radio, kind of funny. You know, I've been a little lazy the past few weeks, but my own YouTube channel, which is Paris ML, you can look that up. And yeah, Gamescom's coming up here in actually exactly a month from now. I'll be in Germany. And yeah, it's gonna be a lot of good stuff coming out of that. So really excited for that. Obviously, there's some redacted things that certain people are playing right now, and we'll have that out soon. And yeah, it's been good. And I'm really looking forward to Wolverine. Can't wait to play that.
I'm actually looking forward to Wolverine as well. After the video, the stuff came out for Hall H. I was like, okay, cool. His face looks a little bit too Liam McIntyre for me. I feel like it's a Liam McIntyre with a Wolverine haircut. But beyond that, I still like it. I'm still in it.
One thing I can say, I can say this.
Okay.
Yeah, look for a Spider-Man brand new day review soon.
Hey,
very
nice.
Right. Hey, so you said the YouTube is Paris ML, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's Paris Machine Learning. Paris is AI confirmed. We just want to.
Oh my God!
Yes, it is. I didn't think of the ML as that, but you're actually let's go with that. Yeah, that's good.
Anyway, so thank you so much for being here, Paris. I appreciate you, sir.
Thank you,
Lucius. How about you, sir? What? I know what you're gonna say, but I have to ask the question. Where do we keep up with your ongoing, sir?
If you want to talk to me or whatever, go to the Discord. Please do not try to find me anywhere else. I will not engage. Okay. All right. Like let's just keep it to the Discord. That's it. We have some interviews that we are going to try to lock down next week. This all comes from our time at Summer Games Fest and Play Days. We got a lot of contacts. We have a lot of especially indies that are interested in like telling their stories, but unfortunately we don't do this for a living. We do this as a side thing. So both me and Kay and Sante, our jobs got incredibly busy the last couple of weeks, and we haven't been able to we still came out with a bunch of articles, so that was really nice, but we weren't able to work on those interviews, but expect those to come soon. We will be working with a couple people. We have the developer of Demi that said that they'd be willing to give us an interview. We have the what is that? The Dancing with Ghosts. Is that
yeah.
We have that. We have a couple devs that are really interested in kind of cutting their teeth in, and hopefully there's an opportunity to be able to talk to the devs of Enter the Chronosphere, but they're very busy.
We'd love to talk to them too.
We're trying to stay on top of that, so that way as soon as they have some time to be able to talk to us, then we can get an opportunity. But like, we're working hard to be able to get you guys new content, more content for everything that you give us. So yeah, like just as Kay Asante previously said, we appreciate everything that you guys do, and any financial help that you can help us get to places like PAX West. We will make sure that that money is not wasted and that you get every single benefit for the dollar that you've spent to be able to help us get to those places. So really appreciate it.
Well said, sir. Well said. I will say also thank you to the great Pixelbit G who lent his voice. He jumped in here for a little bit. And of course, the great Slow-Mo Backslap, who always makes this show better every time he has the opportunity to join us. For myself, my co-hosts, for all the great friends that join us on the show, I think we're done here. Until next week, have a great time. Yeah, check out the channel and the website for all more goodness coming from us. But until next week, we'll say peace and have a good one. Keep it gaming.
Thanks for being on it.